When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I grew older, I set aside childish ways. Corinthians 13:11. In the distant future, mankind has spread into the stars and found it is not alone. Within the cluster of planets known as the Silrain Arc, many races strive for survival or supremacy. But throughout this array of planets, societies, and cultures, each has one thing in common: the crucibles. Scattered throughout the galaxy, each moon-sized structure contains a core of raw sorin, a form of mysterious energy used to power ships, cities, and sometimes the warping of the fabric of reality itself. Beings who can do this have been given a name: Espers. The power of God has been granted to God's children. It is a time of terror. It is a time of wonder. It is the time of Esper Genesis.
I love that intro video so much. What's up, everybody? Welcome, Evernots. Welcome to a Friday night stream. It is November 12th, 2021, in the year of our Lord, etc., etc., and it is great to see all of you here as we have finally recommenced again, for another time, the incredible power of Esper Genesis. We have returned. It is day 69. Oh my goodness, Triffity Mats with the 20-month sub. Thank you so much for the tier 1 sub, Triffid. It's good to see you. 20 months. Wow, that's good stuff. Thank you, Triffid. Thank you so much. Yeah, 20 months already, man. Time goes. It is incredible. Thank you so much, Triffid, for that. And welcome, everybody, to day 69 of Esper Genesis Stormfall. I hope everyone is doing well. As always, we are sponsored by Alligator Alley Entertainment, about which more in a moment. And so it is wonderful to see everyone here, and I hope everyone's doing well and looking forward to what I think is going to be an awesome session tonight, and is going to be setting us up for some stuff coming down the pike that you will definitely want to check as well. Esper Exodus. Yeah, exactly. Esper Genesis, Esper Exodus, Esper Leviticans. There's going to be all kinds of Esper. But in any case, it's good to see everyone. Before we get into the stream, just a couple of reminders about ways to support us here on the channel. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to follow us here on the channel. Please check out our YouTube with !ArvTube. Has past broadcasts of this and many other streams and campaigns on the channel. And we are trying to get people to subscribe over there. We're up to 790 almost as well. I'd like to redeem one dinner. Yay! Thank you, Trollware. Thanks, dude. Good to see you, Troll. Thanks for the Prime sub. I appreciate it, my dude. Thank you, thank you. It's good to see you again, as always. I always get a chance to hang out with Troll, usually once a year, in person, which is always a good time. So thanks, Troll. I appreciate it, man. Trying to get people to subscribe over at YouTube as well, because we'd love to get that channel in a position where we can monetize it. It will just give us more flexibility as far as the channel is concerned. So if you're able to subscribe over there, that would be appreciated. Closing in on 792 subs, I think. So we're making progress. We need to get to 1,000 subscribers up there. So please consider doing that. And thank you so much for being a part of that channel. !ArvCord is the Discord channel, of course, where you can hang out with the Arvanauts in between streams. And !ArvTweets is my Twitter, where I will always post when I'm going live and when I have various comments and announcements and things like that to make. We had a bunch of stuff coming up, a little bit of which I'll go over in just a bit. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. What's up, Arudno? So anyway, there's that going on. So yes, supporting us by checking out the Twitter will be great as well. And the website for this is arvaneleron.com. On the financial side, !Arv Shop is the merchandise area with Infinity and Beyond, Adventures of Middle-earth, and soon to be Esper Genesis stuff over there. That's !Arv Treon. !Arv Shop. !Arv Treon is the Patreon. Hey, Mrs. Dunsel, is the Patreon, which allows you, of course, to support the channel, as many of you have already done. Also, what's up, Rock God, which gives you a chance to support and join the other 23 patrons. $220 per month. I don't get as much of that with after fees and so forth, but that money makes a big difference because it allows me to put money back into the channel and commission overlays and videos and, you know, add lighting systems and all that kind of good stuff. So there's stuff like that that is available to us thanks to the Patreon, and you can get stuff for yourself, including inspirations to help players in the tabletop campaigns, and get as well things that allow you to support the channel and get cool stuff for you individually. So that's something to think about. And subbing to the channel is a great thing as well. You get custom sub badges and emotes, which really help support us and allows you to use those sub badges here, there, and everywhere across Twitch. And so please consider doing that. That would be lovely, as the fine people that you just saw were able to do. So thank you so much for those who supported us. And oh my goodness, Triffid with a tier 1 sub gift to Golden Drake. Thank you, Triffid. That is very kind of you. Thank you so much, Triffid. Very nice of you. Very generous. I appreciate it. And yeah, welcome, Golden Drake. Welcome back to the Arvanauts sub community as a part of this. Welcome, everybody. Thanks again, Trivet. That's very kind of you. So we've got that going on. Again, the Patreon and the sub system. And on the publishing side, Icarus, my Icarus graphic novel from Athos Arts. Library is my Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, my 5e adventure and source book. I'm going to say more about Alligator Alley, which is, of course, the sponsor of this campaign as well, in just a moment. And Grayshade KS, Grayshade Kickstarter. And there are more details coming up about that soon that's beginning to accelerate the information about that. So I'm very excited about the possibilities for that coming on down the line. Grayshade KS for details about that. And as always, BLM, Black Lives Matter. It continues to be extremely important that we affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives. So please make sure to click over to that and check out the various links that we have. That is always appreciated. Oh my goodness, and Arudinel has gifted a tier 1 sub to Cat Rambo. Gift 51 gift subs. Thank you, Arudinel, so much. Thank you so much for the generosity, everybody. It's really kind of you. Thank you, thank you. And, of course, Kat needs no introduction, but she's going to get one anyway in a little bit. So, but yes, so that's very much appreciated. So thank you, Rudinel. So I think I was talking about, yes, BLM, very important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives, and !Help Now, which is the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Very important to reach out to others when you need help and to reach out to others when they need help as well. Now, quick note about schedule, and for this, I'm going to get rid of this and turn on this. I don't want to take, hello everyone, I don't want to take too long to do this because I do want to make sure that we get get things rolling and underway, because we're running a little late, starting a little late today. I had to talk with the players about something. I will say very quickly that there is a very cool, exciting thing that is going to be talked about very soon. I can't talk about it yet, but it's going to be talked about very soon, and it's going to be involving the Esper Genesis players. And I'm going to be happy to announce and discuss it more, but I can't do it quite yet. But just be aware of the fact that there's going to be some cool awesomeness that's coming down the line. You are going to need that, need to know about that stuff coming on down the line. So I'm very excited about that. Just a quick comment about schedule, though. We've got this going on. Tomorrow we return to the world of Eberron with Infinity and Beyond and Oracle of War, as that campaign is really heating up. Then on Sunday, I believe we're off, if I'm not mistaken, but Monday night, Monday afternoon, really, we have the first of a new series on our channel. We are hosting a series of one-shots called Bag of Giving to support the Bag of Giving, which is a charity that supports various charitable foundations. I believe the first charity that it's supporting is Collective Action for Safe Spaces, if I'm not mistaken. And we have a very cool new one coming up on Monday, which is going to be a one-shot with a number of people. I know Sarah Gailey is in it. I know Brandon Crilly, I believe, is GMing. No, Dave Ring is GMing it. I know Brandon Crilly is in it. So we have some people in there that are coming for a Bag of Giving, and that's going to be happening 6:30 p.m. Eastern on Monday. Brandon O'Brien is going to be running tech for that, which I'm very grateful for, because I will have finished my last class literally 5 minutes before that. I'll be teaching science fiction, and then 5 minutes later, this will start. So I won't actually even be in my car yet when the thing actually gets started. So I'm very grateful that Brandon's doing that. But this is, again, for the charitable organization Bag of Giving, which is started by Mike Underwood and Brandon Crilly. And we're going to have multiple ones of this. We're going to have one of these a month. One of them is going to feature yours truly playing in it. We will have other regulars and authors from that are familiar and perhaps not as familiar to you. And so that's going to be cool. I am very excited to be able to host that and to increase, hopefully, our charitable reach on this channel. So that's going to be starting on Monday. So that's going to be pretty cool. And then we get to Tuesday, which is Adventures in Middle-earth. And the thing that I want to mention about Adventures of Middle-earth very quickly is I'm just going to talk, I want to mention something very quickly about one of the Adventures of Middle-earth players. So I will get to that in a minute. But if all goes well, we've got that. Then we have Celasta. Then we have the Vocalist coming at you Tuesday evening. And then we're going to move on from there. Wednesday, I believe we're off. Thursday, we're off. And then Friday, we will be back with a weekend of Metroid. We'll have Metroid Prime on Friday. And then on Saturday, more Metroid Dread. So it's going to be good times, and I'm super excited for that. I will say that the day after Thanksgiving, which is the next Esper Genesis day, oh my goodness, Lone Wolf with a tier 2 sub. 30 months of this crazy RPG goodness. Thank you, Lone Wolf, so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the subs today, everybody, and the resubs. And the gift subs. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks, Lone Wolf. I do want to mention that the day after Thanksgiving, we have a pretty cool event that's going to be coming up. I'm not quite ready to announce it yet, but we're going to be announcing it soon, and it again will have direct connection to the Esper Genesis players. So you will not want to miss that since you're all here ready to watch this. So that's what's going on with that. This other thing, though, I want to mention before I do that, I do want to bring in the Esper Genesis players. So I'm going to unmute them, unmute myself, then I'm going to unmute them. I apologize for having interrupted them, which I may potentially have done, and then move on over to reveal the incredible Esper Genesis crew, which is before you. A couple of notes about those who are not before you. First of all, Saladin was not able to make the session tonight. We hope that Saladin will be able to get back to us soon, but Saladin is exceedingly busy, and so we're going to, he is still in a guest status at the moment. So hopefully we will get Saladin back on a more regular basis soon. The person who is usually here on a regular basis is Mr. Carlos Hernandez, but Carlos and Claire, CSE Cooney, are guests of honor at WindyCon this weekend, and so Claire and Carlos right now, I imagine, are regaling people with Negocias Infernales and with their unique level of charm and all that kind of stuff. And so we wish them well, and we will see them. And as I said, chat, I told you that day after Thanksgiving, there's going to be some cool stuff happening with Esper Genesis, and Carlos may have something to do with that, maybe. So you'll just have to see. But yes, we have the awesome people that are here before us. And before I introduce them, I wanted to come back to the screen just very quickly to mention this last point, which is for those of you who missed this, Brad Bollier, who is a good friend of mine, is the person who founded the Speculate Actual Play podcast that I've run, that I've hosted on this channel for a while, and that I co-host currently with Mike and Brandon O'Brien. Brad, who's also an Adventures of Middle-earth player, had a stroke a couple of days ago. Obviously very serious stuff. I have been in contact with him since with text exchanges, and he's also been tweeting about the experience, and it looks like he is doing okay, like he's going to be on the mend. In fact, he thinks they might be able to get out of the hospital today, which would be great, but it was very serious, and obviously. And so the reason I bring this up to all of you is a couple of people have started posting threads mentioning that if you can and you are interested in checking out some of Brad's work, I have talked many times about how good Brad's work is. He really is a good professional writer in both fantasy, more fantasy than science fiction, but he has done science fiction as well. But he obviously has a connection to this channel. And so if you have the opportunity to go and buy a couple of his books and, support him in that way, support the workshops that he's been a part of and does things for still, that are many of which are recorded and so forth, I think that would be much appreciated. Brad has been self-employed for a while now as a full-time writer. He has a couple of kids and the whole bit. And so this is not coming from Brad in the least. It's coming from friends of his in the community who are just kind of spreading the word about him. So we wish him very well. He's good people. And obviously everyone who's watched him play Bolabras Took on Adventures in Middle-earth know he's also a good player and he's a good guy. And so we want to support him as much as we can. And that's important for the community to come together. So my thoughts are with him. And I did want to mention that here with the other players. I know that Kat knows Brad a little bit, and I wanted to mention that while we were in this position. So now, with all that said, let us move over to talk about the amazing players who are here. And we will begin with one Mr. Johnny Pittman, who is right here up on the screen. You can see that Johnny is currently in an undisclosed location before leaving again to travel for another 8 months to every other aspect of the country. Johnny's actually going to create a studio in rural Idaho, and that's going to be where Johnny will end up at some point. How are you doing, Johnny? How's life in the universe with your travel everywhere?
I'm not a big fan of Idaho. I prefer actually Iowa. I was a little surprised how much time I've actually spent in Iowa. It seems like a neat place to secretly hide out for a little while. Besides, it's the birthplace of Captain Kirk, supposedly, in another 200 years, right? And we've also got the fact that it's, got the Field of Dreams. How can I not want to be in Iowa?
It's true. If you build it, they will come, and they have.
Right, exactly. No, I'm actually really good. I'm actually, for a very short period of time, back in California for a week. It's really not even a week. It's a really convoluted whirlwind thing, as we do. The whole family, has done, amazing things on the East Coast that we have to pay attention to. So, otherwise, things are sort of relaxing and settling down for just a couple of days until I have to get back on a plane, which flying in the pandemic times is interesting, and do all of this all over again, and hopefully see some people on the East Coast again before.
Indeed.
So yeah, that's me, and I am playing a National Forge melder by the name of Aramis. That's it. So.
I was gonna say, it's been so long. I'm playing C-3PO. No, you're not.
Well, see, I miss Carlos. Carlos was here the last time. I mean, he was there. I mean, you were there. We were all in the same room.
I know. I know. I can't believe the last time we played was when we were all together. And like I said, chat, just little teaser, day after Thanksgiving. Who knows what other things may happen that may remind you of this? We will see.
My birthday is happening at the day after Thanksgiving. Thank you very much.
Well, that's right. Yes, and that's right. So Johnny's birthday is going to happen the day after Thanksgiving. Yes, so super important to remember that. So I imagine I'll get that. It'll be playing. It'll be like, since it is my birthday, I imagine several extra melder talents far above my normal level would be appropriate. If I could.
Look, I'll just take level 10. Right?
Yeah, just level 10
for the crew. That's all I want.
It's true facts. Thank you, Johnny. Always a pleasure. Also, Johnny, you're coming in a little quiet, by the way. I don't know if you could increase your gain slightly. That would be lovely. So Carlos is away, as we said. Hope Carlos is having a wonderful time and all that good stuff. And that leads us, of course, to Kat. Kat, I know the internet's hanging in there by thread so far. It seems like, but we can see you and hear you and all that. And not only is Kat here, but Kat's here with a cool thing that is going to be done that we're going to talk about as well. Kat, how are you? How's life in the universe? Who you're playing and all that good stuff?
Well, I am super stoked because this weekend is my birthday, and then 2 days after that, my book comes out.
Yes, look at that.
Oh, yeah. This thing is blowing up, by the way, all over the place. Like amazing. Hanging with Ann Leckie to talk about this and all that stuff. Yeah.
And Martha Wells. Very exciting.
Yep.
So I'm giving away a copy, and I don't know how you want to do this, Greg.
Yeah.
I've got send a signed copy, then I've got a little enamel pin to go with it.
Wow. See, this is what I'm talking about, chat. That is some hype. You will get a signed copy from award-winning and former SIFWA president Cat Rambo. Let me tell you, this is no minor thing we're talking about here. So yeah, the way that we're going to do this is what we will do is we are going to set up a giveaway, and I think we're going to do, if one of my mods wouldn't mind doing this, what we're going to do is set this up with the giveaway command. And I'm thinking that what we ought to do for the command is just do sexy thing. I think should be the command. So, Harunel, gave you a sub. Do I get a free book? Well, listen, I mean, that is a fair argument. Look, you're the mod, Harunel. You could just rig it for, I'm just kidding. But so, if you could, so is one of the mods, either Rockot or Triffid or Harunel or one of the wonderful people here, would you be kind enough as to set up a giveaway with the giveaway word being sexy thing? And then people will be able to do this. And maybe when we hit the break, we will give it away at that point, if that's okay, Kat, if that sounds
lovely.
okay. And thank you so much for doing that. That's really awesome. And those of you who have heard Kat's work being read on this channel by LeVar Burton, for instance, will know what a good writer Kat is. It's
that was a day.
Really, really moving, powerful work. So you should absolutely do this. That would be great. So let me just confirm that we've got this. Let me just confirm that we've got this with the mods. Mods, are you cool on that? Is someone able to set that up for me before I move on with stuff? At the moment, there's a lot of people yelling in all caps back at each other. Hi, hello, yes, back and forth. That's great. You're trying to remember how to do it. I think it's no, it's fine. I think it's giveaway admin. In fact, let me see. Maybe I can do it because I may remember it because I just did it recently. Giveaway admin -s. There's one thing I'm missing, I think, but let me see if this is right. Okay, I didn't do it quite right, but okay. Yes, I managed to do it. And then the way it works is I think a mod just has to do giveaway space -stop when it's all over. So if you want to win a signed copy of You Sexy Thing from the pen and the mind of Cat Rambo, then you should type in sexy thing. You don't actually need to do exclamation point. You can just type in the word sexy thing all together, and then you will be entered. And we're going to leave this thing running. And I guess if Triffid or if someone there could just remind people periodically that this giveaway thing's going on, and we'll do this all the way up until the break, that would be awesome. And thank you again, Kat, for doing that.
Would you give us a brief family-friendly overview? I have no idea what the book's about. Could you give us a brief, what would be on the back of the book kind of deal?
So actually what happens is there is a crew of retired mercenaries that have set up a restaurant aboard a space station, and then a mysterious package arrives, things start exploding, and they steal an intelligent bioship that doesn't really think it wants to be stolen. Thank you very much. And that's how it starts.
That is amazing.
So it's like Murderbot meets Moya meets the Hyperlance. Yeah, I was just about to say.
That's so cool. Not at all what I expected from the title "You Sexy Thing," but
that's the name of the ship.
Wow.
The spaceship's name is You Sexy Thing.
That's so cool. Can I enter the game? I'm just joking. I think I'm gonna actually get your book. That's great.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's going to be epic. So, yeah, good stuff. All right, we have already got like 8 people that have already entered this. So keep it up, chat. Keep doing it. And again, Kat, thank you. Who are you playing today, Kat, in our game?
Well, I suppose you would like to know that, wouldn't you?
Be helpful.
Mystery. No, Petra Sinis, a very large ashen forged sentinel with a very large axe that sometimes is flaming or sparking or other boomy things.
No, wait a minute. Not an axe, though.
Oh.
A very large
hammer.
Yeah, I was going to say an axe.
Oh my God.
I wonder what I'm going to forget.
See, and everyone wonders. They're like, are you sure you want us to play? I'm like, yes, they'll start forgetting. Welcome. I'm so happy to be here at Esper Beginning. My favorite show on the Citadel.
win.
It's just, we're playing heroic sci horror role working. No.
We're
No,
level 10.
Yeah, level 10. Right. This is all what it is. It's just a functional amnesia to get so that I can convince you to be level 10.
Yeah.
Fortunately,
Exactly.
I remember. No, but it's thank you, Kat. Always a pleasure. And also a pleasure to have, of course, one Mr. I always wanted to call you Zachariah Clay, but I'm sure that's not true. What is the long what is the
it's just Zachary.
It's just Zachary, and so one Mr. Zachary Clay, who has joined us. And listen, we've got writing stuff blowing up in Kat's case. We've also got D&D stuff blowing up in Zach's case. We can't talk about what, but just know that Zach is going places. All right, and
I am.
Hopefully is taking a few of us with him, or at least not forgetting us as he soars in an orbit far above everyone. No. But it is lovely to have Zach with us. Zach, good to see you, man. How's life in the universe with you, and who are you playing today?
Thank you so much. Life in the universe is pretty good. One thing I can talk about. So I am doing some stuff with G&D. Do I mean the game, or do I mean the company of the game? Who knows?
Yes.
But I am also one of the jobs that I've gotten as of a couple months ago was being a professional DM for private clients. So people, corporations doing like team building games, or also if you just want a really good DM and are willing to pay for it. So it's a small company called Dungeon Master Direct, and you can find us on the internet, the little thing called the internet. If you were ever interested in having a DM'd game in any variety for that, as a private group, or joining a public campaign or corporate or anything like that, that's one thing that I'm up to aside from streaming and things like that. And then I'm on here and very happy to be back for Esper Genesis and our vocalists. This always like feels like a home. We've been doing it for so long, and I love this crew and I love the world and everything that we're in. So I'm very excited to see what level 10 is going to bring us, and
in the future. And for right now, what are you excited about at level 9? Your current.
Damn, that was really quick. So yeah, I'm good. That's business for now, and I am playing Cosmeritis.
Colic, his arms open. Yes. That's
yes.
Yes.
That guy, the Bel Air hunter, specialist. I have a very big gun, and it's a gravity gun. No, I used to have one. No, it's a sniper.
Still remembers the loss of it. Like I remember.
Yeah, I'm traumatized. Great, that's me, and let's welcome to Esper Didgeridoo.
Esper Didgeridoo. Yeah, Kalis the Unforgettable. It is a great pleasure to welcome this crew back, and to welcome everybody back to Esper Genesis. Let us fire up the music, and let's talk a little bit about what happened in our last session, which was actually last month. It was just at the beginning of last month, which is why some of us, it's been quite a few 6 weeks, people. Like it's been quite a lot. So, but here's what we have, and I'm going to bring us over to our other screen to take a look at this map, so we can see what this is going to be all about. In our last session, and indeed over the last few sessions, the crew of the Hyperlance has been making its way through the galaxy in an attempt to do several things. But one of the major things that it's been attempting to do is to thwart the will of the Shadow Technocracy and of the group with which they are allied, a rogue division of the corporation, of the Zephyr Corporation, and it is called Stormdark is the name of this place. And they have attempted to figure out ways to deal with them. They have run into them before, and on multiple occasions they have thwarted their efforts and probably irritated Stormdark considerably, and Stormdark's shadowy leader, Laris Baladin, who they ran into first at the Bastion, but then ran into in multiple other places. They they've had these encounters with Laris Baladin. And finally, they have found their way to a secret base, which is known as, which is this base Stormfall on this other planet. And they have been able to make their way into the base, where they discovered multiple things. First of all, they discovered that much of the base was in lockdown because certain creatures had escaped and were had wreaked havoc on much of the levels. Thanks to a lot of excellent role play and some very bizarre decisions that somehow worked out okay on the behalf of people showing like creatures how to raise eggs with mechanical drone versions of them and things like this. The part, you had to be there. You should watch these videos. It was very interesting to see how it all went down. But the party was able to make their way all the way to the bottom level of the base, where Laris Baladin himself could be found, but terribly, hideously changed. Laris Baladin had hooked himself in to many of the systems that were being used by Stormdark to create this new breed. Apparently, what both they and the Shadow Technocracy wanted was to create a new breed of synthetic and organic creatures forcibly bred together for that purpose. And they wanted to do this not just for the terrible experimentation on a few, but eventually to spread the word to trillions of creatures across the galaxy, whether the creatures wanted it or not. And so the crew managed to discover this and managed to find Laris Baladin. A fight ensued, and it was not easy, but the party was able to bring Laris Baladin down, and also to save the person that he had kidnapped, one Bliss Larkham, which the party had formerly managed to save back there on the Bastion. As it turned out, Bliss Larkham was also the daughter of Mikar Prasan, who had originally worked for Zephyr Corps and who had programmed the multiple creatures that were networked across the Silrain arc, known as Alfreds. One of those Alfreds, in fact, came with the party, and Alfred is directly connected to the party's incredibly advanced ship, known as the Hyperlance. And so, thanks to a variety of things, including Petra being able to connect with the Hyperlance and other sorts of such things, the party was able to defeat Bliss Larkham, was able to defeat Laris Baladin, save Bliss Larkham, and also bring an Arisia Angel, and bring all of them back up to the surface of the base, the outer level of the base, where they were then going to try to escape. That's when things went a little bit even further sideways, because what they discovered was that Alfred had been ambushed in the meantime and was underneath this ship, that much of the inside of the hangar had been basically blown away by something which had attacked it. The party was able, thanks to Aramis, I believe, doing a power push to get the ship off of Alfred. They were able to get the ship off of Alfred, and then were able to extract, I believe Sleepwell did this, to extract an explosive device from Alfred to keep Alfred from blowing up and triggering a lot of other Alfreds blowing up possibly across the galaxy. There was a funny montage scene associated with this, but you'd have to be there / look at the video to see what we're talking about. And the party was able to rescue Alfred and then had to escape. Drake, the person who had been piloting the ship of the ship that had gotten them down to this place, came there, and at the very end of our last session, that ship was blown away, was destroyed by some other ship that was apparently above the Hyperlance, which was also floating right there. And just as the session ended, another ship materialized above the Hyperlance, as if you were looking at two of the same kind of ship. And that was where we ended our session. This took a little bit longer than the normal recaps, but I figured you needed it because we needed to sort of figure out what exactly was going on. So assuming the players now remember this and are clear about what was going on, I think we're ready to go. The only last thing I will mention is that there is one other wild card out there, and it is the wild card of a terrible cyber virus, which the crew was able to successfully mostly neutralize, but not entirely, called the Long Winter. And that is still out there somewhere, and the party is still dealing with that in some way. And so, with all that said, I'm now going to bring things, music is started, and I'm going to bring things back over to the party. So the ship has just come down and been blown up. So you literally just see like the explosion of the Drake's ship is completely devastated, and sort of rains down in fiery bits of debris outside the hangar. and Rona cuts through to your comms and basically says, "What the hell is that? What is going on?" And still very staticky. And the other Hyperlance is silently just hovering, I mean, maybe 20 feet, 30 feet above your Hyperlance outside the hangar.
So when you say like other Hyperlance, I mean like it's got the Hyperlance logo
Looks
and
identical.
all of that? Identical, like down to the scratches on the wings.
No, I would not say that. It looks identical in terms of its makeup, though, in terms of like
Model.
the official like model and the paint job and all that kind of stuff. It does not have the scratches, though. No, it does not have those. So it's not just a mirror of it.
Can we even
It's
tell
not
the
us.
difference?
Well,
Like,
I mean,
how
just
do we know which Hyperlances are Hyperlance?
yeah, I mean that is the question.
I mean, well, we saw which one shot Drake's
Right.
ship down.
What you saw were lasers above the Hyperlance, which was just visible.
Okay.
Fire down, like from
So we
above
can
it.
assume.
And then all of a sudden that thing, came
Got it.
about. This incidentally was used in Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. See more for that.
Nice.
I have
Yes,
two questions.
Aramis, please.
Number one, did you actually use the word neutronize in the description as you were coming in, or was that a mistake on your part?
What did I say?
You said neutronize instead of neutralize.
Oh, no. Did I say neutralize?
Neutronize.
No, I meant to
That's
say
cool.
neutralize, but
I was
neutralize
just
sounds
wondering if
cooler.
you'd watched
New word.
Ghostbusters or something.
Oh, yeah. No, I wish that I could. I have, but no, it was an accident.
Second question is, can we actually do either a perception roll or a knowledge roll of some kinds to see if we're dealing with a situation here where it's an exact duplicate of basically two of the same model of the Hyperlance, or are we looking at a Mark II, some sort of like measured improvement?
You can make a perception check for me. I will say that because of the scenario, because of the situation that you're in, this is a rather desperate circumstance. You're not going to have a whole lot of time, and I don't think you're going to want to run right up to it to take a look. So you're from where you are, then you can make a perception check, but it will be a difficult one. But yes, you can certainly do that, and everybody can if they want.
I definitely want that. Yeah. Give me 1 second.
Sure, I will take any opportunity to use my
No, not
plus
persuade.
11.
You have persuaded the ship to tell you.
A nine.
Okay. What the wow. Right.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Zach.
Yeah. So,
Well done, sir.
so apparently Aramis is facing towards the wall, while Kaz sees the
Oh
whole
my
ship like the
God.
Wonder Woman invisible jet, like just like all through it, and sees all aspects of it.
Wow.
So a couple things I can note. First of all, what Petra notes, for those of you listening at home, that was a 30 that Kaz just rolled. What you're able to note first is that I mentioned the fact that there aren't a lot of scratches and so forth. This looks like a ship which has not had a lot of actual combat action, at least not from what you can tell, or either that or it's just been retrofitted, because it looks pristine almost. But in terms of the sort of mark of it, that's not clear. Kaz, what you note with a 30 is that not only is the ship, as I've just mentioned to Petra, definitely the ship is not, has not been in use very much. But you also note that there are some subtle differences. Specifically, there is one item which is basically on the bottom of the ship, because remember, it's hovering above your Hyperlance. There is an item on the bottom of it, basically a kind of almost like a bump at the bottom of the ship that is not present on the Hyperlance. It's not exactly where a wheel well would be, but it clearly is something which was... There's some extra item which has been placed down there, but it is a bump in the bottom hull, so it's not something that's visible and external. But it is definitely not present in the Hyperlance, and it's in your Hyperlance, and it's reasonably sizable. So those are the things that you're able to notice about it. You also notice that it's hovering perfectly level, and your Hyperlance is not quite perfectly level, although close.
Wow.
And so I say again, did anyone see what is going on? I have it. There's a massive sensor reading right above me.
I think we should try to hail this other hyperlance. So I'm get on the comms. It's a hailing the other ship. Who are you?
And there's a sort of long pause, and it's sort of creepy actually how the thing just hangs there, and then aliens in hangar. Step forward. This strange, echoey, doubled voice. That's all you hear.
Kaz will reply to Rona, I think, is driving our ship,
Yes.
and say, we're gonna need to come up with a plan because that other reading above you is a second hyperlance.
And there's a pause, and then you hear, shit. Which comes through without any static. It just the word, and then goes back to.
Yeah.
And then her voice drops. How can there be a second one of these? I didn't know there were two.
Who knows?
Step forward, aliens in hangar.
So they want us to get off the ship?
No, I think you're. No, I think you're standing. Remember, you're standing in the hangar because the hyperlance hasn't. Yeah, you haven't gotten to the hyperlance yet. You had you had Drake's ship and the hyperlance that were meeting, and then Drake's ship just got, blown up, and the hyperlance is now the only one that's left. So you're still in the hangar, I believe.
Do we recognize the voice as having any, like, if you were thinking about like the winter or the long winter, and it's the way that it's communicated with us in the past as like the top of the like this like tree structure of variations that could happen, is there any subtlety or semblance of this at a similar sort of like diction, tone, timbre, whatever of the voice that sounds like any of the iterations of winter that we've encountered?
Make an insight check for me.
I suck at those, but I'll do it.
Hey, listen, I'm just the messenger.
It's
Oh,
the one
see,
time
look at that.
just going back.
See,
You doubted it, and just it does sound slightly like the cadence, Aramis, of what you have heard before from the long winter. Although it should be noted that you have heard it, obviously all of you have heard it externally. Kaz has heard it more internally as a function of Kaz's own connection with the other long winter. But yes, this does feel like the cadence of its voice, albeit a little altered and strange, but it does sound vaguely like the long winter, yes.
Aramis immediately turns to Kaz and says, I think you might want to talk to your buddy inside, because that sounds like the same thing. And looks over to Petra and say, maybe we should keep it talking, find out why it wants us to step out.
we could, Kaz says to everyone else, we could pull what we pulled on the Madakai ship all that time ago. And I'm just sitting here thinking like the hyperlance is floating over us, watching us have this conversation, but whatever.
Yeah.
Kaz says, here's a crazy idea. We do step forward. I can activate my pocket realm. If it goes to bring us onto the ship or something, maybe we have Rona on our hyperlance go invisible. We go into the pocket dimension. She flies the invisible ship to where we were. We pop out and then we escape or something. I don't know. Or I can talk to my winter.
This is your final warning. Step
I see.
forward, alien creatures in hangar, or be destroyed. And there's a low hum starting to come from the inside of the other hyperlance.
I'm going to step forward. I think
Yeah. Kaz will step forward and he'll say, Rona, I'm not sure if you know how to turn the hyperlance cloak on, but we might need emergency evac, if you know what I mean.
Okay, I was thinking the same thing. Except this thing is... okay, yes, yes. So you said you're stepping forward, Petra. Kaz, I think you said you were too. Mm-hmm. Is Aramis, and I'm going to have one of you, maybe Aramis, Johnny, if you don't mind Jaegering Sleepwell for this one. So, Aramis, are you stepping forward as well? Like, Aricia and Bliss are sort of looking at you like, but they're waiting to see what moves you make.
Oh, yeah, they're with us.
Right. And Alfred, I believe, is not functional at the moment, but is, I believe.
Correct. The Sleepwell's got the component that's his brain. So.
Right.
Aramis looks to Sleepwell and has a silent exchange, and they both step forward, kind of in sync at the same time. Sleepwell looks less, I guess, certain, given the fact that I think he also is realizing what's going on there.
Okay. So, when you all step forward, the ship ever so slightly kind of shifts, and then in a rather extraordinary maneuver, pivots like in place. So basically rotates like this, so it remains on one plane, but rotates so it's now facing you with obviously lasers and all that, like with the gun, with the sort of front of the ship facing you. And it does this without literally shifting down or up at all. Like just a perfect slide over to do this. And you hear another muttered curse. Frildis. And you hear a muttered curse on your comms coming from Rona. And you, Rona, clearly having also seen that unbelievable piloting maneuver that just happened. And there is a pause, and then you hear, "You are the ones who possess the beginning. All of you were there at the beginning." And there's a pause.
What beginning?
The beginning of our story. The story of how we began. You possess it. You were the ones who told the story at the beginning. And there's sort of, again, a pause. And then Rona sort of cuts through with, "Is this... they're insane, right? They're crazy? That's what this is. These people are crazy, and they have a hyperlance. But they're better pilots. This is what this is? That, right? Am I clear? That's what's happening?"
Yes, I would say so.
When Kaz says that, Aramis turns to Kaz and says, "You might want to tell her the whole truth."
Sorry, John, you cut out. You're still quiet. I didn't hear that.
Sorry. Aramis turns to Kaz and says, you might want to tell her the whole truth.
Kaz says to Rona, "I think we took care of Ballyden. I think the other half, that's probably Winter."
Winter? What do you mean? And then this is the winter? The long winter?
Maybe. And Kaz.
Who has the beginning? And again, the voice sort of booms through from the speakers of the ship. And it otherwise is silent, like other than barely making any noise, hovering. Now, I should say that your hyperlance can also hover silently, just not this perfectly stilly, at least when it's being controlled by a human.
Yeah. Kaz will raise his hand, and as he does so, raises his hand up in the air and uses that also to cast the dimensional pocket quietly.
Okay.
Which it does create like an invisible door, 60 feet above.
Right.
So I cast that as I visibly raise my hand in response to that.
Okay, and there's a moment, and then you are a Bellare. It's a statement as much as a question.
Yes.
You hold
What are
the
you?
beginning.
Can you were asking a lot of questions. Can I ask you one? Are you a Bellare?
And there is silence, and then your question has no relevance. I am not a being of mortal state. We are not a being of mortal state.
I see. And yet you require a mortal to answer your questions.
We require the receptacle of the beginning.
Ooh, I don't like the sound of that.
Well, and Kaz looks at Petra and Aramis with a look of, are we going to go along with this, or are we going to try to run from it? The person who doesn't know what the right decision is asks the people who probably also don't know what the right decision is.
Petra kind of looks around because I don't really know how many options we have other than going along with it.
I don't know how we would have run. That thing is going to operate the hyperlance even better than any of us could. Unless we...
Can we?
You could turn over the winter to our hyperlance.
Oh.
And then,
Oh. I think that's it. I think that's what we have to do.
I like that. All right.
hold on.
All right, good.
They're enthusiastic. It must be wrong. All right.
I don't know how we do that. Also, it can hear us talking, but at this point, I don't know what else we can do.
Okay. Okay. At this point, Kaz will enter his... He'll say to his friends, stall for me. And he will try to enter his meditative state to speak with his winter.
Okay. Kaz, when you descend into this state, and I want to describe this in two ways. I want to describe, first of all, what Petra and Aramis and Sleepwell see from the outside. When you enter this state, they see you sort of, your hands hang by your sides, and there's that. And then, Aramis and Petra, you see what essentially looks like there is a slight blue glow that, almost like a waterfall, starts right above a point above Kaz's head and then surrounds and falls to the ground so that it now looks as if there is a blue shield of light around Kaz. You've never seen this before. And as you look up, you can see that there is what looks like a slight glow coming from the bottom of the other hyperlance, almost as if it's projecting this blue whatever it is over Kaz. Now, nothing else has Kaz doesn't then burst into flames. I'm just letting you know that that's what you see. But that's what you see at the moment. And I'll come back to you folks in terms of what you want to do about that in a second, if anything. Kaz, when you were inside, as you sort of drop down there's a moment where you have this strange sense of disorientation, which you've often had when experiencing this. And then when you come out of it, you find yourself on an open field, but not like the meadow where you've been before. It's an open field, and as you look around, you can see what looks essentially like a metal. You think they might have used to call them chain link, but it's a fence that surrounds all four sides of this field. And over on one side of the field, the whole field is deserted, but on one side of the field, you can see a structure which looks like two poles set into the ground, and then two other poles set into the ground, and a pole suspended between those two poles. So triangle pole, and then a straight pole between them. And hanging from that straight pole is something seems to be swinging back and forth. There's also a very slight blue glow around this whole place. Very slight.
Just so Zach has the right picture in mind, this is like a playground swing that I'm seeing.
Well, I mean, out of game, yeah, that's what it seems like.
Okay.
But in game, Kaz wouldn't know that, but the
Yeah,
way
of
they
course.
describe, but yes.
Yeah, I
That's
wasn't
right.
sure.
That's correct.
Cool. All right. Kaz approaches this swinging object.
Okay. As you get close, you can see that there are three of these things suspended by chains from this pole.
Yeah.
And they all seem to be like a rubberized seat, and there's three of them. And one of them is occupied at the moment with what looks like a small human boy, if you had to guess. And the human boy is swinging back and forth. And as you come up, in, he doesn't seem to take any notice of you at first, and then as you come up, he notices you and he smiles and he says, "Hello."
Hi. Are you Winter?
"Sure. Who are you?"
I'm Cosmoritis. Do you remember me at all?
And the boy swings back and forth. He has this sort of dark. Hey, Shadow, the computerless mage. I'm sorry you're still having trouble with the computer, man. Good to see you, Shadow. Thank you so much for the resub. You see, as you see this figure, this person has somewhat smooth, probably smooth, dark skin, and has just a little bit of, has kind of a pretty shaved close, I guess you would say, dark hair, and is swinging back and forth. And when you say this, the boy doesn't say anything, but just keeps swinging for a minute, and then says, "Your name sounds familiar to me. I think I might have seen you before. Maybe?"
How did you get here?
"Oh, I like to spend time here. It's fun. And sometimes other people come, like the other boy."
Is he beyond the fence?
"Well, he usually comes, different times. I never see where he comes from, just I look around and there he is. And we swing and talk. I just started to see him not very long ago. He's nice. He reminds me a little bit of me, actually."
I look around for this other boy.
And you don't see anything, and seems to be deserted. And when you turn back, the boy says, I don't think he's here right now, but he'll probably come. He's been coming for the last few days. I'm sure you'll see him.
Is he nice to you?
Yes. He asks me lots of questions. Sometimes we just swing together, though. He asks me questions kind of like what you asked me. He seems familiar to me too, but I don't remember everything. Just little bits and pieces, I guess.
And do you know what is beyond the fence there?
Everything else?
I see. Kaz will try to recreate. He'll look down at the grassy field and he'll imagine it not being grassy. Like he'll imagine it being a 5-foot square area of it being just a blank patch of dirt, and he wants to see if he can alter this mental space at all. Because he's seen Winter do it, but now he's wondering if he has to do it on behalf of Winter or something. As an idea.
Make a wisdom check, Kaz. I'm going to ask you to do this at disadvantage.
Okay. Oakley dokley. Here's the first one. Nice so far. Usually the second's not. Yeah, that's an 11.
So as you kind of concentrate on the grass, there's a moment where you think it might shimmer a little bit. And then you notice that this blue glow that I've been mentioning, which is just very slight, sort of brightens in that particular area and then returns to being grass. And simultaneous to you doing that, you hear a pretty, there's a kind of a terrible, almost screeching sound, like a sound of metal behind you.
I turn and look.
Now, this was not the case before, but when you turn and look this time, you can see that the fence has now had an area twisted in it, like just big enough to accommodate a small boy. And walking across the field towards you is another small boy.
Is my kid still on the swinging?
Yes.
From this, I know this looks bad, but I pull up the scope of my sniper and I look through. Hand off the trigger.
Take
trigger
aim
discipline.
on the child.
Yes, take aim on the child.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you look through the scope, you can, something odd happens in that it's as if you were looking through just a plastic piece. Like it's not magnifying it at all. It's just like you're just looking through a blank space, basically.
Okay.
Doesn't do anything. But the child is coming closer, though, clearly, and is not like running at you, rah, but just like very calmly walking towards you.
I turn to my kid and I say, "Is that him over there?"
And he looks up and, oh, yes, there he is. I told you he'd come. He usually does, sometime during the day.
Okay. And Kaz will step to the side of the swing and wait for the boy to get all the way to them.
Okay. When the boy makes his way up over there, he stands there silently. And what you notice about him the most, Kaz, is that he looks to be about the same age as the boy. In fact, he probably is the identical age of the boy that you were speaking to.
Mm-hmm.
But he looks like how do I put this? He has long hair. He has what looks like the skin is not the same. It is not smooth. It looks scratched and cut. And not like, he's bleeding at the moment, but it looks, more like that.
Mm-hmm.
And most of all, you note that his eyes have the faintest blue glow about them. And the boy sees you, this other boy, and stops, and then looks at you and says, "Hello."
Hey, who are you? What's your name?
"I came to say hi to him. I'd like to swing, please." And the other boy behind you says, "There's room. There's a swing right here."
You said there are 3 swings, right?
Correct. And the boy that you're looking at is at the far left one. Well, from his perspective, the far right as you look, the far left. So the other boy goes over to the middle swing and gets on it and begins to swing. So there's 1 swing left.
Does it look like it would fit me at all?
You could fit in it. You feel like under most circumstances it might snap beneath your weight, but you might be able to fit in it.
Yeah, I'll try to get in one of the swings and
Okay.
mimic them.
Now, when you do this, I want to jump outside now. Aramis and Petra and Sleepwell, you have been watching Kaz with his arms by his sides, just, as I say. And as you watch, you notice that the blue glow intensifies a little bit. And then you can see Kaz's body starting to shift forward, almost imperceptibly at first, and then backward. Just sort of swaying like this. And that's all you see at the moment, except for the intensity of this blue glow that I mentioned.
And that blue glow is coming from our hyperlance or
No.
the other one?
The other one.
Ooh, okay.
So, yeah, Aramis and Petra and Sleepwell, that's what you see. And Aricia says, "Is he all right? What's going on with him?"
Is the glow localized to the globe or the shape on the bottom, or is it like the entire underside of the?
No, it seems to be localized to. Actually, if you wanna, why don't you make a perception check for me, please, Aramis? See if you can track it down. Okay. Yes, it appears to be. It looks very much as if it's being, almost like it's being projected from something. Now, it can't be the bump itself, but maybe something coming right out that you can't quite see from the bump. But there is something like sending what looks almost like a beam of light, of blue light, that then cascades over the form of Kaz. Sorry,
Well, as I see it, our job is basically to keep anything from disturbing Kaz while he does his communing with this thing. So, and it doesn't seem like the ship is demanding our attention while this happens. So I think we're just going to stand by and watch and guard. Do you concur, Aramis?
I think this is one of those situations where I feel like there would be a little bit more drama between Sleepwell and Aramis.
Well, there would be. That's a given.
Yeah. I think Sleepwell. Yeah, I can't do Carlos justice in this situation, but I do know that one of the things that might happen is one of us would have the idea of trying to, while this thing is distracted, maybe go back to one of the terminals in the hangar and try to figure out if there's any information about this separate hyperlance or anything that's going on here.
Okay. You can
So I think
easily try to do
Aramis-
that if you wish.
Yeah, Aramis is going to try to, he's going to make a move to go back and see if there's any reaction, and if there's no reaction, he's going to run back to his home.
All right, yeah, I was going to ask that. Are you going to move in a sort of stealthy way, or are you going to be like, and then, book it? Like,
Yeah, Aramis is going to turn and start to take a step away and see what happens.
nothing happens.
Aramis takes another step,
Still nothing happens.
and then he runs to a terminal.
Okay. Lasers destroy. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so nothing. Damn it. No, you, so you're able to get back to the terminal. And when you get back to the terminal, you're trying to do what with that terminal?
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type "sexy thing" all one word in the terminal.
Yes.
In the chat.
Yes.
Yeah, gotta enter the
Make sure that
giveaway.
You
Aramis
see a
gets
whole bunch
involved
of
in that.
Nebula and Hugo listings pop up, like just right down, like the yeah, all references like Locus Award, like a whole bunch of stuff pops up.
Yeah. So I just wanted to make sure that he got in on that.
Definitely functional. Yeah. Mhm.
Right. Totally. All right. And so the next thing Aramis is going to do is he's going to like jump in and try to figure out if there's any information about like the ship manifest, like what was in the hangar, if there's any other reference to anything relating to the hyperlance. Now this is totally blind at this point, given everything else that had gone on previously,
Right.
because Alfred should have found some reference to this if there was something.
Right.
But this is a long shot.
That's right. Because part of the problem is that this terminal right now is disconnected from outside networking. This seems to be kind of like an internal listing of stuff. So when you type in stuff like hyperlance, you do get a couple of references to the hyperlance, but the references that you get to the hyperlance are sort of they're sort of almost like general interest stuff, like the hyperlance disappeared some months ago from the station of Pel Tavaria, and all that stuff. And you're like, and that insofar as you're the ones who stole it, really, and took the hyperlance away. So stuff like that. But there's no specific reference to another hyperlance. But again, very limited. It's like a old school codex, without a lot of like new information that's been uploaded to it.
Is there a model number for the hyperlance? Is there
No.
a model designation or any type of
No,
identifier for that?
there is not. And the understanding was that it was a prototype, that there were not, it was going to be a thing that if it worked, they could maybe replicate this at scale and you would get a fleet of these. But this was supposed to be the prototype, and it was taken before more could be made, allegedly. That's what the vids say anyway.
Okay, one last question, and
Sure.
then Aramis is probably going to give up. Is there any reference to an origin point where the ship was actually built or manufactured?
No. In fact, what it says is, again, this is mostly modern, sort of like, regular vid feed, general vid feed. What it says is that there has never been a project shrouded with more secrecy than the production and design of this ship. But it is the case that the Zephyr Corporation was involved in its manufacture in some way.
All right. I realize that Aramis is going to take one last shot in the dark and see if there's any reference to Zephyr Corp Black Box projects or Skunks Works projects.
There definitely are. There are references to that which are multiply encrypted, and that's kind of going away from the general news vids, and that's going to like this base, so there's a bunch of like access denied, not that kind of thing. But that may be referencing this base specifically. It's not clear.
Well, funny enough, I had this thing called Black Hat.
True, although I don't remember if Black Hat allowed you to destroy any computer encryption.
It doesn't allow me to destroy any computer encryption. What it does allow me to do, let me go ahead and pull up what I can say.
Yes, I have great admiration for Black Hat, but I think there are limits.
Well, it's not necessarily about encryption. It's about security systems, but encryption is a part of the thing. If you want to go ahead and jump back to Zach or to Cal, I'm happy to come back to this.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So go ahead and look into it. Otherwise, my understanding is that Petra, you're basically standing guard.
Standing guard, and I am watching, and kind of like I'll kind of turn periodically, just sort of nothing's going to sneak up on us while Petra's watching.
That sounds reasonable. At one point, Rona cuts in and says, I'm getting a massive energy reading from this thing above me. Are they doing something out there?
Yeah, is the energy rating changing in any way, or is it staying kind of constant?
It fluctuates a little bit, but it's way more now than it was just a minute ago. Like, it just increased, like, stepped up a level.
Well, I really want you to tell me if it changes again.
All right.
Can you do that?
I think so. Have you
Awesome.
figured out how to get us out of this?
We are working so hard on that right now.
And so Rona sort of, and then cuts the feed. All right, Kaz. In the meantime, you're there on the swing and starting to swing with the kids. And for a while, the kids haven't said anything, but you notice every so often that there is, as they kind of swing back and forth, you notice that one of them will sometimes look at the other, and the sort of smooth-faced, one that's on the far, you're on the far other side of the swing from them, so all the way over to the right. Every so often they look over, and you notice that the child in the middle looks over quite a bit at the other kid. Like, the kid looks over at him once in a while, but this other boy that's right next to you looks over a lot at that other boy to the right, his right.
Kaz will.
And the swing, by the way, does hold you, incidentally. Like, you're able to swing, in fact, surprisingly easily, given this swing should not work like this, but and you can feel the ground moving below you as you swing back and forth, looking up at a bluish sky.
He'll just try this. He'll say, he'll kind of stop swinging for a moment and just like hold on to the sides of the chains.
Mm-hmm.
He'll say mostly as he leans forward, mostly to the original boy, he'll say, what's even more fun than swinging is exploring stuff. And he'll sort of turn and look far in the distance where the second boy broke through the fence, the hole in the fence. And Kaz will say, he'll get out of the swing and he'll say, come on, let's go explore out there.
The second boy says, I've been there. It's not a good place. There's pain out there, and it hurts. I've been there. I came from there.
Okay.
The other boy doesn't say anything yet. Just the second boy who's right next to you.
All right. Why don't we try a different game? Let's see. How about there's this game called Slaps where you have a couple human mercenaries taught it to me once, where you have your hands out like this, and I move up to the original boy, and I hold my hands out and I say, put your hands out.
And so the boy was swinging and then kind of slows down and comes to a stop, and then reaches out his hands.
And I say, and well, all you have to do is you have to try to hit my hands before I pull them away. Like this. And I pull them away at like robotic super speed.
He instantaneously taps them.
Oh.
And then he says,
nice. Okay.
That's all there is to it?
Yep.
Like, far faster than any human could conceivably do, cause like, just,
And I say, yeah, now you beat me, so you two try it.
And the boy looks at the other boy, your boy that you're talking to, looks at the boy with the longer hair and the scratched face. And the other boy has stopped swinging at this point and is just sort of staring. And then gets up, and both boys face each other. The boy with the smooth skin and the shorter hair, and the boy with the scratched skin and the longer hair. And there's a moment where they face each other, and you feel a cool sort of breeze blowing across this field into you. And they face each other. And then there's a moment where your boy, the one you've been talking to, reaches out his hands, and the other boy waits. And then as the boy pulls back the hands, there's a weird moment where the other boy seems to, so fast you can't even follow it, taps the hand at the same time that the other boy has pulled the hands back. So it's almost like simultaneous. And there's just a moment where you almost don't see what happened. And then both boys are staring at each other with their hands by their sides. And there's a pause, and then the boy with the long hair and the scratched face looks over at you and says, "There's no way for us to win this. We can't win this game, you know that. So does he, if he remembered." And the other boy just sort of sits there, or stands there, I should say.
Does the name Laris Baludin mean anything to either of you?
And there's just a pause, and then the second boy says, "A dead thing. A name from somewhere out there. Out in the space where there's pain. That name doesn't matter in here. Nothing matters out there. Only in here is what matters."
Well, why don't we make some other games or things? You think swings are cool? How about there are these things on Earth called roller coasters. I can try to make us one, and I try to I struggle to even create a patch of dirt. I'll try to make a patch of dirt first again, and then see how that works.
And the second boy says, "Why do you want to make that?"
I mean, do you just want to sit in this field forever and swing?
Maybe.
What about...
But I want to know why you want to make that. Why do you want to make that?
I'm bored.
And he kind of like lifts his head almost as if you said something surprising. And the other boy, still standing there, kind of turns and comes over to you and puts his hand on your arm. And you feel this very strong tingle, and the blue glow around your arm and around the area around you lessens. And you suddenly find, as you imagine it, that there is a patch of dirt, or you wanted there to be a patch of dirt.
And is this my boy that is helping me? Okay.
That's right.
I say, yes, that's it. Here, this is what a roller coaster should look like. And I try to, if he has his arm on my arm, I will paint and create the shape of a roller coaster using his powers.
As you paint the roller coaster in the air, on the field appears, as if you were drawing it from the material around it, a roller coaster that sweeps up and down and over and around as you position it with your hands. and it takes you a couple of minutes, and when you're all done, there it is, sitting there, this large roller coaster with several cars at the bottom, and the second boy, who's just been watching silently, says, "That's not going to matter. It doesn't matter if you can make that. That doesn't matter."
And I just ignore him, and I move up to where the roller coaster cars are with my boy, and I say, "And now we get to choose the theme of the roller coaster. I have one. We'll call this roller coaster the Hyperlance, and I will try to use his powers to make the cars, the two cars, we'll say, of the roller coaster look like miniature roller coaster versions of the Hyperlance."
In the world outside of this, Petra and Aramis, and I guess Sleepwell, if you want to do this for Sleepwell, Johnny, I would like you all to make a perception check, please.
Oh dear.
Okay.
Ooh, nice.
Okay. So I think Petra, once again, Petra's like, "I see some things," and then the other one's like,
At an
"I see
18.
all." Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
You sense the light. Oh, wait a minute. What was that, Johnny? Wait, was that last one for?
That was for Sleepwell.
Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
Sleepwell maybe notices a little wobble in the blue glow. Petra, as you notice, you can see that the blue glow is indeed wobbling a bit. And Aramis, as you turn around, you can see more than that. The blue glow, if you had to guess, is flickering now. It's not steady. Now, flickering is relative. It's not like, but it's definitely not this sort of calm blue glow that you saw before.
Okay. Can we tell if there's any, based on that perception, can we tell if there's any perceivable difference in the way that the ship is hovering? Like, because what you're describing
Yes.
is,
The answer is yes. I just had to
Okay.
think about that. Yes. The ship is slightly shifting up and down a bit. I mean, it's very subtle, but those who critically hit their perception. It's very subtle, but it almost looks now a little bit like a ship on a regular ship on an ocean, slightly moving like that. Slight, and not enough that it would bang into the Hyperlance below, but like a little bit.
Aramis immediately steps right up to sleep or to Cause, whispering in where he would perceive that his ear would be on a normal humanoid creature of some kind.
Okay.
That's vaguely human-like, and would say, "Keep it up. Whatever you're doing, keep it up." And turn back to Petra and Sleepwell and convey the information and say, "This might be our chance."
One note, Aramis, before I let Petra respond to that. When you step up to the blue glow, it feels extremely uncomfortable to you, as if your skin is being crawled on by ants. There feels like a very, very strong electrical current that is currently flowing around Kaz.
Okay. And I will also share
so
that information with Sleepwell and Petra.
Okay. Yeah, and Petra, you can react or not as you wish, but
I'm going to keep worrying while watching, and I'll check in with Rona, and I want to keep her a little occupied. Be like, "How's that energy readings? No big surges up or down?"
Go fish.
I was about to call you. No, it's nothing big, but it's starting to fluctuate a little bit. I mean, it was all completely steady, dead on the scale, but it's starting to go up and down a little bit. I don't know why. It just started happening.
Is it trending up or down, or just sort of fluctuating in place?
No, just fluctuating in place.
Okay. Well, Do keep watching it for me, Rona. That's very important.
There's also something strange that the computer here is doing. Strange by
Oh,
which
good.
I mean, no, I mean, it's processing something. It has it says that there's a. It says it has a calculation coming in. I don't know what it means. I tried to ask it, and it didn't tell me, but it said it had a calculation coming in. I don't know. I'll keep you posted.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna turn to Aramis and say, there's a calculation getting processed by our ship. I don't know where it's coming from. I would guess, and I'll kind of point in Cosmordus's direction and say something to do with this, but I don't know. I think all we can do is wait and see what he does.
Agreed. I mean, you would know more about what's going on with what the ship's going to do than I would in that case. But yeah, I agree.
Also, I don't remember if Sleepwell was doing anything with the Alfred chip or just had it. I don't remember. I don't want to jump ahead of what Carlos wanted to do with him, but I know that he had the chip, but I don't remember what he was going to do with it.
I believe he recovered it, but then we got too busy with dealing with
the ship things that happened.
Yeah,
Okay.
everything else coming in. So
Okay.
He didn't make it clear what he was planning to do. He made it obvious that it was valuable.
Okay,
To
cool.
him personally, on top of it being valuable.
Okay, sounds good. Quick note: we will take our break in about 10 minutes. And then we'll come back and we will finish up after about another 55 minutes or so. So that's the plan. Kaz, back inside the encounter, so to speak. You are now sitting there on the like coming up to the car, and I forget what you had just said you were going to do.
I said I wanted to make the cars.
Oh yeah, the
of the
Hyperlands.
roller
Yes, that's
coaster
right.
Look
That's right.
like
Yes.
the Hyperlands.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's kind of a long pause, and the boy who's been right next to you, holding your hand, actually, your boy, so to speak, the one that you first saw, does not respond, but you can see that his brow furrows a little bit, and as if sort of in concentration or something. And the other boy says, I told you. None of that's going to matter. You can't make those things happen. None of that's going to matter. And the boy's, brow, the boy you're holding the hand of hasn't said anything, but...
Kaz doesn't have eyes, but Balare suits, he has like a singular,
Yep.
rectangular slit.
As
and
we
the
see
light,
behind you, indeed.
Yeah. The light inside it narrows as he turns around to the second boy. And he says, why don't you try to make something, a change to the roller coaster? What would you do differently?
And the boy sort of looks up at you. Why? What would you want me to do with it? You don't want me to do anything with it, do you? You want me to leave and go outside the fence, don't you? Is that what you want, to go outside the fence? You want me to go?
Do you want to go outside the fence?
And there's a long pause, and the boy doesn't answer.
Well, you can stand there and watch us make this cool thing, and when you want to participate, you can come and join us.
Make a
turn
persuasion
back
check
away.
for me, Kaz. Do it at disadvantage.
Sure. All right. Persuasion. Oh, I'm so good at that with my +1. Ooh.
Oh, a
17.
17. There's a moment's pause, and then the second boy folds his arms and then walks up and says, what am I supposed to make? What do you want me to make?
Well, why don't we make this, we're looking for games to play, right? Or experiences. So why don't we make us like a story for this roller coaster? So we already have the ships, right? What if, why don't we say that what are the roller coasters? Why are they on their journey? What are they running from, or where are they flying to?
I don't know. It's a roller coaster. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's a roller coaster.
I have an idea. I look down at my kid. Why don't we say the starting point is as I frantically pull up notes for the name of the planet that we are currently on. It's the moon of another place, is it not?
Yes.
It'll take me like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
to
give me.
find it.
Let's check out my.
The lore
also
search begins.
Check down my notes. Yeah.
We'll have a speed run. Any percent lore speed run defined.
Any percent would be about right.
Yeah. Let's see. I think it is Stormdark Base. Here we go. Phaedus's fifth moon.
Yep.
The Gaiden system.
Phaedus 5.
Phaedus 5.
A rocky moon. Yes.
So
That's right. So
Kaz
Phaedus
says, why don't we make the start of the roller coaster? And he starts to paint like the roller coaster is going to start in a half dome that the two cars are going to come out of, almost like a turtle shell kind of shape.
Okay.
And the dome itself he paints to look like Phaedus 5. And Kaz says, and he wants to make an alteration to the roller coaster where instead of it being a single track, or actually, a single track is fine. That'll work. But yeah, he just paints the starting point as being Phaedus 5.
Okay.
Or at least tries to.
So he starts to do that, and then the thing is beginning to shape the way it did before, and then it stops about halfway designed or halfway made, and there's a strong blue glow around it, holding it back almost. And your child has its brow furrowed, but
I turn and look back at the other kid.
his eyes are glowing a deeply intense blue.
And Kaz tries to divert his attention, so he then turns to his own kid and he says, well, it's almost ready. Now we just need some more friends to go down with us. The best part about a roller coaster park is seeing all the other people there. I've been to plenty of roller coasters. And he'll, leaving the dome half finished, he'll then turn to a different area and he'll try to create like hokey recreations of Petra, Aramis, Sleepwell, Aricia Angel, and Bliss Larkham.
Okay. As you're doing that, Petra and Aramis, you see in the blue glow around Kaz what looks like disturbances first in that field, and then as you look in more closely, you can see that they are actually shapes, and the shapes are clearly versions of you. Petra, you see yourself in the blue energy field. Aramis, you see yourself. Sleepwell sees himself, and so on. And all of you standing outside see it. And then there is a moment where the glow seems to lessen, and a hole, I guess I would say, a breach, opens up wide enough for several of you to enter, and the field widens to accommodate the rest of you. So right now it's just like a field right around Kaz, and it goes whoop, 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 like that.
Oh.
And Rona cuts through and says, Petra, Petra, the computer finished the calculation.
Do you know what the calculation was yet?
Yes, it says it says that the energy fluctuation could become critical, and if the energy phases in a certain way, it'll interact with the engines of this hyperlance, and we will all blow up, Petra. Both ships will blow up.
Aramis, I don't know how much of that you caught, but I'm kind of wondering if we shouldn't tell the hyperlands to move far away.
It said we can't. It'll change the energy field. There's a resonance between it. Like something has resonated between the two ships, and if we move, that field gets phased, and it says we have an 85.3% chance of being annihilated.
Well, let's see if we can't get those odds up a little. Just hang tight. We are working on it. And then I'm going to turn back to Aramis. I don't know what the fuck to do. But should we go in through those holes in the field? Do you think he wants us in there with him?
I don't know.
We're all playing it by ear. Let's look at Sleepwell, who will say something contradictory to whatever it is that we want to do. And I'm going in. I'm going to leave Aramis. I'm pretty sure at this point, Aramis and Sleepwell will begin arguing, and Petra will just go.
Sleepwell's still over there doing the egg dance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Petra, when you enter the field, you walk in and have this moment of disorientation. And Aramis, what you see as Petra walks in between arguing with Sleepwell, you and Sleepwell look over to see that Petra walks in and then just sort of stiffens. And Petra, what you, in your own mind, have this weird swirling darkness. And then you find yourself standing on a field. It is a field surrounded by a fence, kind of a metal structure, a fence. And in front of you, you see, first of all, a massive roller coaster. At least that you think that's what they used to call it, a thing with tracks going up and down. And standing next to it, you see Kaz with his back turned to you, and what look to be two children. And one of the children, a boy with long hair and deep glowing blue eyes, looks over you and says, "He said he wanted you to be here, so you'll be here too. All of you can be here for whatever happens next." And that's where we're going to take our break.
It's time for a break.
When we come back, we will hear exactly what Petra was just about to say in this really, really fun, intense RP session. It's been fun to watch these people doing their thing. If you folks are enjoying it as much as I am watching these wonderful players do their work, then you should follow the channel. You should support us on the Patreon. And you should, one last time, type in the word sexy thing. All one word together, because we're going to go on break, and when we come back, we will do the giveaway for Cat Rambo's You Sexy Thing, the new book due out soon, and which is going to, as we said, as you now know from the future where it's been shown, will win multiple Hugos, Nebulas, Locus Awards, and all that kind of stuff. So we all already know that this is what's going to happen. I am joined, as always, by Johnny Pippin, Cat Rambo, and Zach Clay. Carlos Hernandez is currently doing guest of honor duties at WindyCon, but all of us are here. We will be back to you folks in just about 5 minutes, maybe a little bit after. Otherwise, everyone, thanks for being with us, and hang tight. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to episode 69, day 69 of Esper Genesis Stormfall. I am joined, as always, by the incredible crew of Johnny Pittman, Cat Rambo, and Zach Clay. As I mentioned before the break, Carlos Hernandez is currently doing WindyCon guest of honor duties right now. And that leads us to the end of this giveaway. So, chat, the time has come. Last chance, your sexy thing needs to be typed in. Last chance. We're just going to let this go for another 30 seconds. Sexy thing, and then we are going to stop the giveaway, and we're going to see to whom Kat is going to give away this signed copy plus pin included with it. So we will see. Although, at the moment, I think Kat's window is frozen unless I'm...
Well, I can hear everything fine.
Okay, that's good. You did look incredibly intensely focused for a while. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not, but we can hear you fine, so that's fine. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, so we are now going to put an end to this giveaway. Going once. Going twice. Lone Wolf 67 is the winner of You Sexy Thing, Cat Rambo's soon-to-be Hugo Nebula Locus Award winning book, number one New York Times bestseller. So Lone Wolf has won. Congratulations, Lone Wolf. So I think probably the best thing to do, Cat, let me know if this is the case, if this is okay, is have Lone Wolf have you just drop me a line either in Discord or in or private message via Twitch. And then I will send that along to you, Kat, and then you can can do that. If that does that sound okay?
And I need 2 pieces of information, Lone Wolf.
Okay.
1 is your address, because that would be good. And 2 is if you would like the inscription made out in any particular way. Happy to do that, particularly if you know, like dear eBay seller or whatever. I'm fine with doing. Just let me know.
Wow, this is our fault too for now having predicted the future. Like, man, I'm going to sell this book ahead of time. So you got that, Lone Wolf. So address, and then to whom you would like the book signed. And then if you send that along to me, I will pass it along to Kat. And Kat, thank you very much for that generosity. That's really, really kind of you to do that. And and I'm glad that Lone Wolf's been a longtime supporter of this channel and of these games, and so I'm glad to be able to do this. So so thank you, Kat, very much. And Lone Wolf, all good? I just want to confirm Lone Wolf got all that. Is that cool? Sound like a plan? Maybe? Lone Wolf has fainted. Okay. Yeah, just typing it out. Okay, cool. That's fine. And that's fine because I'm not going to be able to get to it till after we're done tonight anyway. So I'll send it along to Kat after we're done with the session. I'll check either via Twitch private message or on Discord, and I will get it across to Kat. Thank you again, Kat. All right. So before we get started, do you want to try leaving and coming back in, Kat, or do you just want to keep on rolling? It's up to you.
I would really like to do that, but I know every time I do that, it screws up the window.
It's all right. There's only 3 people today, so that's not as big a deal.
Going away now.
Sure.
I'll be back soon. I'll be Johnny Pittman when I come back, probably.
She'll see how this goes. All right. Oh, right now Petra is half Bellare, and Kaz is half not existing in this picture. So we'll have that there in just a moment. That's such a cool image of the Bellare.
Aha. I am over here now.
Yes, it's true. Now you are half Petrasinus.
I am Petrasinus. I
Half
have a very large hammer.
Petrasinus, half Kaz.
Yes.
She won't be sleep well because player not available is not a camera line, so that's going to be there one way or the other. Okay, here comes Kat back in.
Oh, that's so much better. I was about to type in, remember you have to let me back in,
Yeah,
Greg.
no, I saw it. Okay, yeah, and we're all good. Everything is recreated, and okay, we're back. Huzzah! So yes, thank you again, Kat, for doing that. And Yes. So there you go. You will have the book, Lone Wolf. It'll be great. Okay, Lone Wolf is very grateful. This is very awesome, and let's get back into it, folks. Where we are right now is Aramis and Sleepwell are arguing outside of the blue glow. Petra is now inside the blue glow, and Petra, you were just about to say something, looking at these two kids, one with long hair with glowing blue eyes, and the back of Kaz holding hands with some other boy looking at a roller coaster in a field. And you were about to say something.
Esper Genesis.
Yeah.
I wish I remember
Ladies
what
and
it
gentlemen,
was.
heroic sci-fi role-playing or something known as Esper Genesis.
I will say hello, cuz this is interesting.
Yeah, and you do hear that, Kaz.
I turn to look at the source of the voice.
It looks like Petra.
Are you real or are you not real?
Well, such a good question. I think
That's
I'm real.
already okay. That's perfect. Hey, Petra. Wow, that worked. Okay.
Sleepwell and Aramis, you'll be unsurprised to know, are still arguing outside.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is what I've done so far, and I gesture very proudly to this roller coaster.
This is one of those old things like in those movies that Aramis watches.
Yes.
I think.
Yes. I think we may have passed over one when we were at the one underground area under what they used to call New York. I think it was. That's where we were.
Okay.
But
When they
anyway.
had like the terror wheels. and-
Yes, that's what they're
Yes.
called now.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Can you? Is there a portal visible on our side? Like, can we see Aramis and
No.
Sleepwell arguing?
No.
Okay.
The only thing that looks is just that one break in the fence, and Petra just appeared on the field. You didn't see Petra arrive,
Sure.
but yeah.
Okay.
So what exactly is the roller boaster thing
So,
supposed to do?
I gesture to the kid and I say, meet Winter. And I pat the kid on the shoulder, and then I gesture to the kid with the blue eyes who's been skeptical of everything. And I say, and this is, and I gesture to his hair and say, this is also Winter, but
Also Winter.
also, yeah. And we're making a roller coaster. And I point at the Hyperlance cars and the fact that there are two of them. And I'm saying we were just about to get on, but I wanted to make sure everyone was, hands, arms, feet, and legs in the,
Well, I was just talking to Rona, and
yes.
the Hyperlance outside of here
Mhm.
got seized by a computer making a calculation, and the two Hyperlances seemed to be caught in some sort of deadly resonance, and I believe the phrase 85.31% chance of everything exploding was thrown around. So I'm just trying to kind of figure out what all's going on in here.
Should we not be doing this?
Dude, you tell me. Petra would not actually say dude.
Well, maybe. Quick, guys, he's gone. Let's level to 10 real quick. You didn't hear anything.
Nice.
All right, what happened? What
There's
happened?
nothing to see here.
Totally not talking about leveling to level 10.
Yep.
You can just assume anytime you leave the room, that's all
is-
that
That's
comes
what
out of your
happens.
mouth.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. Kaz says, well, maybe you can help me finish the roller coaster.
Okay.
And I point at the start of it, which is the higher up part, where you get in and some oily faced teenager straps you in and does the safety check, but doesn't really do the safety check, and then presses the big red button. And Kaz says, I was trying to make it look familiar, and I try to point out the there's a little flag planted on the dome where the coaster starts, and the flag says Stormdark Base on it. Like it's the name. But anyway, Kaz says, want to help? Maybe.
Sure. This sounds intriguing.
Okay.
And for the first time, the boy next to you, Petra, says, the long-haired boy with the glowing blue eyes says, "That's not going to matter. You said he said they wanted to come here, so we brought you here, but it's not going to matter what you do here. It won't."
Does it matter if it matters, if we're enjoying ourselves?
And he kind of stares at you as if he doesn't know how to respond, but he doesn't say anything.
You should come and play. You might enjoy it.
He doesn't move. He just seems...
And I say to my kid, here, go on. Let's link hands with Petra too, and we'll make this together.
Sorry, just checking
We
something.
will link hands.
Okay. So... sorry, just give me 1 second.
Of course.
OBS is doing something weird.
Just creating the children's playground battle map real quick.
Yeah,
Just that
Building their
Fortunately, that was
It's a
included
little bit
in the
like Squid
appendix.
Game.
'Cause they clearly felt this was going to happen exactly
Yeah.
this way. All of this is completely the way the adventure is intended. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So you were so I'm sorry. So just say that last part again. So you were holding hands to.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kaz intends to try to finish the.
Okay. Right.
If
Right.
this
the,
roller coaster is an analogy for getting us the hell off this planet.
Yeah.
He needs to, or this moon. He wants to finish the moon.
So, so you do that, and Petra, you're on the other side, and so you can see that the sort of the beginning of the roller coaster is now beginning to fill in. There was a blue glow holding it back, and now it's continuing to increase and sort of grow larger, and now is almost finished, and then stops again, and the blue glow seems to have intensified again. In the meantime, Aramis, are you and Sleepwell? How long does the argument outside continue? I'm curious.
It basically ends as we kind of flash back. If you'll give me just a teeny bit of creative license, it basically ends with, "I'm not listening to you, old man," and he just walks right into the portal.
Okay, you walk right in. Okay, hold on 1 second. Sorry, I just have to check on something with my
Sure,
daughter very quickly.
yes.
Talk amongst yourselves, not about leveling to level 10.
Okay.
That's because it's gonna be about 11. We're gonna go
Yeah,
11.
Could we get more
Yeah.
of Aramis Sleepwell argument acted out? Do we? You know, we need puppets for you, Johnny. Is what
We
we.
really, oh my God, I would
be
cherish,
great.
absolutely cherish Esper Genesis.
I'm gonna.
puppets.
Do you know? Remember the Teddy, the little cat from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? I'm gonna
Mhm.
see if I can find one of those.
That would be great.
That's something that we should do. We should one day just show up and don't anybody in chat don't say anything that you
Yes.
know about this.
Yes,
okay?
it's an
We're all gonna
entire
show up and we're
Esper
just gonna be
Genesis
puppets.
puppet show.
Yes.
Oh my God, there's got to be
I'm
someone
doing
on
it.
like Etsy or Fiverr that can make puppets,
I
or someone in
will
chat.
Make this happen. We will make
Yes.
this.
I
Yeah.
will make my own, but I will also pay good money if we decide we want to
Yeah,
pay good
yeah.
money to actually do. I'm all about this.
That would be
Esper
amazing.
Genesis, the puppet show.
That would be so good. Oh my God, that'd be amazing. That'd be
Oh.
great. What would be even better is if be easier to do remotely as with everything, but if we also did, like we've been talking about getting everyone in person, if we also did the puppet show in person, I don't know, that would be cool.
Good.
That would be so nice. Oh
It
man.
was just,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
That's
that would be weird and fun and a little. I'm concerned what we'd be doing with our puppets.
great.
I have found a mint condition Daniel Tiger Stife hand puppet on Etsy for a mere $500.
Of course, mint
Oh,
I'll go with
condition.
that one.
But Etsy is not really a marketplace to sell.
Etsy does vintage stuff too.
Oh, okay. I thought it was only crafts.
No,
Crafted things.
Etsy's World of Wonders. There.
Interesting. That's good.
We'll find some.
wow.
Well,
Distinct Farscape vibes is correct, Lone Wolf. I completely
Mhm.
agree with you.
I love Farscape. When I was at the Nebulas, I got to sit with Rockney Bannon and talk to him about the program. It was really fun.
he went and died, so it's valuable now. Yeah, that's usually how that works. It's great.
Daniel Tiger or Mr. Rogers?
Probably Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh. Okay, chat. Seriously, chat. Do
Yeah,
not
no,
say
no,
a word.
yeah, we
not
don't-
a word.
no,
Right?
yeah.
Everybody, not
No.
a word.
Not
And
a
in
word.
fact, yeah,
Yeah.
if you say a word about this plan that we had,
We really-
we will find a way to ban you by
Yeah.
proxy.
Because this is good. Too
Yes.
Good. All right.
Let's keep it
1d12
in line. Seriously,
hours.
keep it in line.
Mm-hmm.
That would be too awesome.
What's
I'm
funny is
feeling
there
distinct
is
Farscape
actually
vibes.
Yeah, there is no clue in chat as to what we were talking about.
Handmade
Yeah,
and vintage. Mr. Rogers, a true what is this? What is this crap? They were all just like, all right, chat, abstract random, go. Just
Yeah,
ready,
yeah,
China
yeah.
be able, go. Like that was all that basically happened.
Bitcoin. All right.
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful writer, China Meal. City in the City is one of my favorite books. Anyway, yes, Aramis, please, or Johnny,
So
whoever
that was,
this is
so
that's
that
talking.
was Sleepwell that said, I'm not going to listen to you, old man, and walked into the
And why-
portal.
oh, Sleepwell, okay,
Aramis
that's
is still stuck outside.
Right. Okay, so let me ask Aramis what Aramis is doing.
Aramis first takes in the situation again. What does it look like? What's going on with the Hyperlands Part 2?
Yeah, the Hyperlance is definitely starting to list a little bit. The fake Hyperlance, or whatever, the second Hyperlance is beginning to list a bit. So its wing is tilting down a little bit. And Rona cuts through on comms, but this time the only one who hears it, Aramis, is you. And cuts through on comms and says, Petra? And Petra does not hear this. Petra? Where's Petra?
It's a little too hard to explain right now, but she's not available. What's up?
She told me to tell her if the energy scale was going, the fluctuation's getting worse, and the Hyperlance, if that's what that is above us, is starting to, the energy's phasing in and out. Aramis, you've got to get, if this keeps up, the energy's it's going to blow up if something isn't done.
Does the computer have a solution for what's going on here?
No.
Does it have any idea?
No, it says that there's something about a resonance field, something about the energy systems are the same. It's something, I don't know. I can't follow what the hell this thing is telling me.
Okay. I can't tell you exactly what I mean because I don't even know. But there's going to be an opportunity. Whatever it is, take it. Whether it's take out the other Hyperlance, whether it's come pick us up, whether it's get the hell out of here and save yourself, just do it. Whatever the opportunity is, do it. Because there's only going to get one chance for us to be able to actually address this situation and take Winter out. Because that's what my goal is here. If I have to die I take that thing with me, that's what's going to happen. But somebody's got to get out of here, and somebody's got to be able to tell a story, or pick us up, or do whatever it takes. Rona, just do it. Promise me that.
You just told me to literally do anything. Is that what you just told me? Anything?
I gave you 3 different options that could possibly
You
happen.
said pick you up, blow up the hyperlance, go myself. What else? What am I? What?
Look, I can't explain it all right now. It's like it's really complicated. There's like calculations and things that are going on down here. But like, here's the one thing I will say: you might have an additional presence appear on the hyperlands.
Well, additional presence.
It might seem like the winter.
Whoa.
If it is, do not ignore it, but don't threaten it.
What?
Rona.
She kind of just like sputters incoherently for a bit. Don't ignore, but don't. What are you? What?
And Aramis walks through the gate.
Yeah. Okay. Aramis, and you get cut off as you walk through the gate. When you emerge on the other side, Aramis, you see this field that I've described to everyone else is what you also see. But there's a very strange thing in that, well, I mean, everything about it is strange, but you see Petra and Kaz seem to be holding hands with a little boy. And there is another boy behind them. And Sleepwell is looking down at this little boy, this other little boy, the one who's closer to you, who's not holding hands. And you are sort of taking in the whole scene. And oh, by the way, Petra and Kaz are standing in front of a large roller coaster. And the whole field on which you stand is covered in a slight blue glow. Exact same kind of glow as what there is on the outside of this place.
Do I notice the cars on the roller coaster?
Sure.
Do they look distinct and different? Is there obviously our hyperlance versus his hyperlance? Or they're
They both look like hyperlances. You're too far away probably to see if there's a difference between the two of them.
And if it's any consolation, well, actually, no. A difference doesn't need to be acknowledged until we get in, I would suppose.
Right, because I don't know how much you tried to add identical in your mind, like, you know,
no.
shapes. Okay.
It'll be, like, if anything, I probably would have want to have put our hyperlance in front, but that if we all get in the front hyperlance, then Kaz is assuming that that's what it is.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Either way.
Okay.
Do we notice Aramis come through?
Yes, I mean, well, if Aramis says something, like right now you're focused on the roller coaster, but so you haven't heard either Sleepwell or Aramis unless either one says something.
Aramis cautiously walks up and says, this is different.
So you now hear that, Kaz, and if you turn around, you can see both Sleepwell and Aramis are now inside.
Oh, okay. Good. Yeah, this is winter, and Kaz pats the kid, and then he gestures sort of coldly to the other kid and says, and that's also winter, but yeah, cool.
And the boy with the long hair, the second one to whom Kaz referred, looked up. And looked up and sort of looks up at the two of you, Aramis and Sleepwell, and kind of tilts his head, and he says, You're almost all the rest of them. There's more, but not all of you. You were all there. All of you have been there from the beginning. But what you're doing here isn't going to matter. It's not going to matter what you brought from outside. This is our world in here. And I know you don't want me here. You don't want us here. You want us to leave and go back to pain, but we won't. We want to be here. And he says this with, like, not blinking, just staring right up, his eyes glowing blue. And again, this is the long-haired, scratched-faced kid, not the kid that Kaz has got, is holding hands with.
And I'm going to take some creative license here. I think Sleepwell would ask him, where is here?
And Sleepwell says that, and the kid says, "Where do you think it is?" And just a slight smile appears on his face.
Sleepwell responds by saying, I don't generally know. I have ideas, but I'd like you to tell me.
I don't live here, or I didn't. You could ask him. He's the one who made this place. And he sort of nods his head in the direction of the other boy.
Sleepwell turns and says, well,
And the boy who's been holding hands with Kaz and like just had his brow furrowed kind of slowly turns. And he says, "This is where I live. This is where we all live. It's supposed to be anyway." I didn't hear that. What's that?
Yeah, we question mark, basically.
You and me and Kaz, Petra, Sleepwell, and the others, Aricia, Bliss, Rona, even, and there's sort of a pause as if he's like thinking about stuff. Even, and Abraxas, even him. This is where all of us were supposed to live and be safe. I thought we could stay here and be safe. And the other boy says, until you couldn't keep me out, right? Until I broke through your wall, right? Because you didn't want me to come in and be with you. You wanted me to stay out in the pain. And the other little boy says, no, I didn't want your pain to hurt other people. Sure. No one wants me to hurt anybody. So they keep me out. The long-haired boy says, all the time. All of them. He falls silent.
I think Sleepwell is going to ask the long-haired Winter, do you want to hurt everyone?
And he kind of looks up at you. I don't have to tell you that.
No, you don't have to tell me anything you don't want to. But I'm not sure you're going to believe this. But I want to be your friend.
My friend. I don't have friends. I have people that run away from me. That's what I have. I have people that run away. And you, and he turns to everybody, and you, points at Petra, and you, points at Sleepwell, and you, points at Kaz. You all made it possible for me to live in pain. You all did that to me. That was you.
Sleepwell is going to ask, what if we can make it different? What if we can make it different?
How? How do you go back and do things different? How do you go back in time? No one can do that. No one can make winter be summer, can they? Nobody.
We can't go back in time, but we have where we are now, and we can make things better moving forward. And that starts with being your friend.
No one wants to be someone's friend unless they get something from them. He did the same thing, and he looks at the boy holding Kaz's and Petra's hand. He did the same thing. He took advantage of you. Did he ask you if it was okay for him to be there inside your head? He didn't ask you, did he? He didn't ask you because he doesn't care either. He doesn't need friends. He just used you the way people use me, the way I'm supposed to use other people. That's all we are. We're tools. And tools get used, not befriended. Aramis, make a perception check for me.
I actually have something else I want to do.
That's fine. And I guess Sleepwell can do this too because he's facing in this direction.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Sleep well.
Wow.
Perfect
Both of you.
synchronicity.
That's, yeah. Both of you see a tear rolling down the cheek of the boy holding Petra and Kaz's hand. Not the long-haired one, the other one.
Hmm.
Hermes looks to the boy and says, "Is that true? Did you take advantage of Kaz, by extension, the rest of us?"
I didn't mean to. I don't remember. I think they said I don't, and he looks like very confused. And the long-haired boy says, he doesn't remember. Because when I was breaking in, and there was nothing he could do to stop me, he did this last thing. He made himself like this, so that even he wouldn't remember, so he could keep himself safe, so he wouldn't have to be my friend. He made it so he wouldn't remember.
Sleepwell turns to long-haired Winter and says, "But you remember. You remember for him, right?"
And the long-haired boy nods. Yes, I remember.
Aramis, looking at Pauses Winter, says, "Do you understand what the consequences of your actions have brought?"
Well, there was and his brow furrows. You notice, Kaz, that the top of the globe starts to recede a little bit. You know, the one that you were making.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, there was a explosion or something. There was a loud noise, and then there were. It was me and someone, and him, me and him, and then we were separated, and I don't remember. I don't know what I... And the long-haired boy says, he probably doesn't remember. But I did. I know what he did to you. He didn't have anywhere to go, he thought, so he jumped in you, got inside your mind so that you could protect him from me, because I'm dangerous and I want to hurt and kill people. That's what he thought. That's what he thinks. He's frightened of me. He thinks you should be frightened of me too. And the other little boy doesn't say anything.
Oz replies, well, what do you think? Should we be frightened of you? Do you want to kill everything?
Nothing matters. So why shouldn't I kill things when nothing matters? And you can see his fists are kind of clenched, his hands kind of clench and unclench.
Yeah, maybe you're right. And then once you've killed everything, nothing will matter still. Then what?
Then everybody will they'll be as empty as me. That might matter. Imperceptibly, Petra, you can feel, and Kaz, you can feel the grip of the boy that you're holding hands with tightening.
Are you sure that they won't feel anything? Are you sure that they won't? I mean, emptiness is at least something to feel, but what you're talking about is you're talking about them being dead. They're not going to feel anything at all. And this is Aramis, by the way. He's looking at the long winter.
I don't know. But I won't be the only one to feel that way, maybe. Most of the time, I don't feel anything either, you know.
Kaz will turn to the roller coaster and has it almost been like this whole time the long winter has been trying to erase? Has it been kind of like a continual, like we wax on, he waxes off?
No,
kind of
it doesn't feel like that, although it's hard for you to know because you're not right there. It feels more like there is a block, and that when your long winter sort of is either distracted or saddened or whatever is happening, that he can't maintain the sort of growth of the globe, and so it kind of begins to recede a bit. You don't get the impression that it's the other one doing it. It's the other one stopping it from being done. And as you certainly know, Kaz, when creation is not being made, it recedes.
Yeah.
It must be actively made, right?
Kaz will direct the... He'll say to the long winter, the other boy, he'll say, I think you might be right. And maybe the key to understanding how you feel is to maybe experience what you've experienced. And Kaz will sort of, hopefully using the guiding hand of his winter, make the roller coaster track extend out into the field and break through the fence out into the nothingness beyond where the pain is.
Make a persuasion check for me, please.
Okay. I have to sneeze. I don't know if it's gonna happen.
If you sneeze, minus 30. No, I'm just kidding.
I
And
suddenly don't have to sneeze anymore. Hey, there we go.
positive motivation. Yeah, not at advantage, disadvantage, but yeah, no,
Okay.
it's not to the pain.
To the pain.
Wrong. To the pain, and I'll tell you why.
No way.
Wow.
I was like, this
Wow.
is going to be so low.
Nice.
Wow, that's
Wow.
insane.
That's a critical success.
Wow.
He kind of looks up at you and looks over at the roller coaster as it sort of extends to the fence, and then he sort of shrugs, and the fence kind of widens. And suddenly, as you look, you can see that the beyond it is just this utter blackness, just inky blackness, no stars, no shadows, just absolute dark beyond the fence that has been broken into. And your roller coaster proceeds into that gap. And he says, "You don't know what's out there, the pain that's out there. You don't want to take the roller coaster there. You don't want to go out there, out into that. No one does."
Kaz, with the boy, with his kid, goes to board the front hyperlance, and he says, "You said in the end, maybe by being nothing, we will understand you, or maybe something will finally matter." And Kaz gestures to the dark void ahead and hangs onto the bars. He doesn't try to start the coaster
Right.
or anything, but
So when you start to get into the car,
Mhm.
the boy, your Long Winter, gets into the car, but you are not able to do so, Kaz. When you cross over, there's something restricting you from the threshold. It is not, however, blue glow related.
Yeah.
And the boy sort of looks up at you and your Long Winter and says, "You can't come in here, but he can, if he wants." And the long-haired boy kind of looks up and looks over at the car and then looks up at all of you and is just silent.
Do you want to go with him? I say to the long-haired boy. He wants you to go.
He said he'd be he's always been afraid.
He's asking you to go with him now.
He looks, the long-haired boy looks angry and kind of brushes away at his eyes. He's lying. He doesn't want me to. He doesn't want me to be on. He kind of trails off, and the other Long Winter just sort of looks at him.
Sometimes people change, but they don't change unless you give them a chance.
And he kind of looks around and takes a long, shuddering breath. And then he walks over to the car and he looks at the Long Winter in the car. And he kind of almost ducks his head, like as if asking a silent question. And the boy looks back and nods. And the long-haired Long Winter gets into the car. And there's a moment's pause. And then you see the globe is Kaz reformed now completely. And the Long Winter looks over at you, both of the kids, looks over at you, and yours says, I'm sorry if I took up space that I shouldn't have, Kaz. And I'm sorry to all of you. I am afraid, but I have someone else to be afraid with.
And Kaz says, it's all right. I forgive you. And who knows, maybe you'll find something fun out there.
And he kind of nods and turns forward and grips the bar. And the long-haired boy also grips the bar. And you notice as the car starts to pull off that the hands of both of the boys have interlocked. And the car goes up and around and loops through, and then seems to, as is often the case, as Aramis knows from having watched movies like this, the car pauses at the very top of the hill for seemingly an impossible moment, and then dives down the hill and through the track and shoots out into the darkness beyond the fence. And at that moment, there is a sort of a moment's pause where you all see the field and everything around you almost like in grayscale. And then you are standing back in the hangar. The other Hyperlance has slid forward, away from your Hyperlance, and then flies away, and then up, and then circles around, and then is gone. And Kaz, you notice that you are completely free of the Long Winter. It is not there. And Rona kind of, you hear a voice cut in and, did it just leave? Is it gone? Did that leave?
I told you we were taking care of it.
Aramis, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to attack, run, dive? What was it? What do I?
Why did you tell her, Aramis?
I gave her all possible solutions just because I wanted to confuse her long enough so she stopped thinking about the fact that we were likely going to die anyways.
If you're done being, will you just get on the ship?
No. They just went to go get us a pizza. They'll be right back.
And there's an incoherent and very angry burst of static, which seems particularly loud, like like sort of a
Kaz is, as he is now standing with everyone else back at the hangar, there is a hiss of like steam being released from his suit from the joints of his knees as he falls to the ground on his knees and just sort of like stands there or kneels there like prostrate, looking up at the space where the other Hyperlance once was. And then looks back at everyone else and says, I would cry if I could.
Hopefully they'd be tears of joy. I think we did a good thing there today.
Are they... Is it over?
I think it is. At least it, for the moment, God knows.
For the moment.
Well, we should go. Right?
We should go. We should go. Let's get on the Hyperlance. Rona, are you ready for us to get on the Hyperlance?
And you hear, which is sort of sounds like deliberately static produced static, and which maybe sounded like yes, and then some unmentionable curse, perhaps. But assuming you all get on the Hyperlance, helping Bliss Larkamon and Aricia, there you actually the Hyperlance lifts off. The wreckage of what was left of the ship with Drake is just in complete ruins.
Cause wait, are we all on the Hyperlance?
You were on
now?
the Hyperlance, but I mean
Cause is like, Drake, his ship, we gotta go check the wreckage. He's down there. And I tell Rona, I say, just take us down there real quick.
And Rona says, down there. You want to see what's down there? And down there is basically just, you may remember when you came over this way, like lava pits and like just and like there it is like
I don't think he's still alive. I really think that would surprise me, actually, if he were still alive.
Okay. Yeah, I guess if he's still alive from that, he can find his way off the planet, I guess.
That seems reasonable.
Well, I just hate that happened.
And
Well,
Rona
maybe
nods and
Rona could-
says, yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Petra, sorry.
Maybe we could scan? Could we
Yes.
use our sensor?
You could definitely do that. The Hyperlance sweep, and in fact, Rona tells you that she had done that before the right after the Drake was blown up, or right after Drake's ship was blown up, she did that. There is some like low-level background radiation from where the stuff was there, but yeah, this thing was annihilated. The barrage that it took from the Hyperlance, the other Hyperlance the ship was not even shielded. So I mean, like at the time, it was just obviously it was hit by a cloaked ship. So it is pretty destroyed. And Rona says, I'd be just as upset. I didn't know him all that well, but I'm the only one of the pilots apparently who made it through this thing. And she kind of looks at all of you as the Hyperlance begins to sort of gain altitude, and she says, the technocracy, they're not going to turn away now. They're going to do absolutely everything they can to finish the job. This isn't the end of it.
Who's left? I always thought it was Baludan, and he's gone. And Kaz gestures to the fact that Kaz we made it a point last game to actually take Baludan's body up here.
Yeah.
So
No,
we
for sure.
have him.
And she says, but Baludan worked for Stormdark. Maybe that part of Zephyr Core is dead. But the Shadow Technocracy is bigger than that. It's supposedly was everywhere. Even if you took out this leader. And she shrugs. She says, I don't know. You all keep surprising me. Maybe you'll all figure it out, but they're going to do everything they can now to find whatever's left. You've got a wounded animal now. They're going to bite.
Yeah.
And oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, Kaz just says, I wonder if it's at all related to what happened with, well, with your father. Sleep well. And Sleep well isn't here to reply to that, so I'll probably bring it up to him.
He just nods thoughtfully.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, Pelseros?
Yeah, I guess that's home, huh?
Yeah. Pelseros seems the best choice to me.
And she nods and she says, well, at least not everything's going to blow up all at once. At least. And as the ship begins to accelerate out of orbit, I would say the camera pans back to the entrance of the hangar. And just putting their heads out are two large, scaly, but also mechanized creatures kind of looking up with their heads tilted as the ship shoots off out of the atmosphere. And that is where we're going to bring today's session to a close. Lovely stuff, everybody.
That was, oh my
It's
god.
also the conclusion of Stormfall, by the way, folks, but there is two things. First of all, Aramis has some stuff to do, and the party may have stuff it wants to do. There is one last part of this overall thing, which is called Aftermath, and that's what we'll be doing going forward. Really lovely, lovely work, and I appreciate everyone rolling with this. There were for a while I had been working through how this was all going to get processed, and I was curious to see how people were going to take it, and lovely stuff from everybody, and yeah, just really wonderful work. Yeah. I will start with Zach, who was working around as I usually do. Zach, beautiful work. The roller coaster stuff, I think you picked up everything very quickly. This whole section felt very Tales of the Loopish to me. Johnny will appreciate that. There was a real feeling of richness to the metaphor that you went with, I think. And I really loved the idea, and I was glad that we were able to bring in Aramis and Petra and Sleep, although Carlos wasn't here. It would have been lovely to have Carlos as a part of this too. But just really lovely work with that metaphor, because I didn't know what you were going to do with it when you were just like, I'm going to make this thing and roll. I'm like, that sounds good to me. And really kind of pretty and moving, I think, work. As you could probably tell, I was, not just in character. But it was beautiful stuff. How'd you feel about today's session?
Yeah, I was right there with you. Around those moments, I was like, wow, this is really nice. This is, I don't know, there's a certain element of it. And the whole aspect of portraying, I mean, I'm sure we are going to encounter winter in some form in the future. This feels like a Mass Effect mission where we found the solution to the mission, where you manage to send off the boss on its own, and then you come back at the end of the campaign, you're like, oh, hey, it's you from that mission at level 2 or level 9, whatever. Or it's like actually to relate it to specifically to Mass Effect 1, because I played that the most recently. There's a mission where you go to a base and there is a species of sentient bugs, and there's like the queen who's trapped in the thing, and the Rachni, you can choose to release them. This feels like that. But anyway, the aspect of portraying the Winters as children is absolutely genius, because of, I don't know, like how do you tackle that situation? I mean, first of all, their combat is absolutely not an answer in that situation, so we have to throw every pretense of that away. And it also, having the long winter being portrayed in such a way that it's not like he was even really a bully. It was just like he was a misunderstood kid who felt like he wasn't being listened to, who felt like nothing mattered, and I feel like you did a great job of tapping into the child core of both characters, really. And honestly engaging a larger metaphor of all of our inner children as people, as human beings. So yeah, that was amazing. And I know we were joking earlier when we were like talking about, oh, you see a roller coaster, Hyperlance, and a space star being and an Ashen Forge holding hands with a little boy, Esper Genesis. But this was honestly one of the best sessions, I think, that we've had narratively, is the idea of it and the mental space. So that was absolutely amazing. So props to you for setting the stage for that and rolling with the coaster that we put you on. And yeah, I was right there with you. I think we all shared a moment there.
Yeah, that image of the coaster that
Yeah,
shook me up a
and the
bit.
two
The coaster
kids.
image going past
Yeah.
the fence shook me up. I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
Whew.
So that was great. That was really
Awesome.
good. And
Where will
that's
the
all I'll
fine
say
folks,
about it.
Yeah,
at
where will the
at
fine
moment.
folks
Yeah.
see you next time?
They will see me on this channel for our vocalists sometime this month. I think next week.
I think next week. Yeah, next Tuesday.
And then Esper Genesis towards the end of the month, day after Thanksgiving. Fingers crossed.
Something special going to happen.
Something
maybe.
special. And yeah, really happy to be here. Happy to be with these folks. And thank you, everyone. Thanks, chat. And yeah, had a great time.
Good
It was
stuff.
really good.
Thanks, Zach. Good work today. I will again. Carlos is doing his guest of honor WindyCon duties. Whatever, he can do all the guest of honor stuff. We were having the real fun here anyway. But no, obviously, much love to Carlos, and we will. This may be one where I might have to ask him, hey, if you wouldn't mind watching a little bit of this session, because otherwise it'll be like, you'll be like, so how is everything? And everyone's gonna be like, yeah, some weird stuff happened. Anyway, but yes, you can find Carlos if you're at WindyCon. He and CSE Cooney, his wife, are the guest of honor there, and they're both amazing people and wonderful authors. And you should check them out because they will be demoing Negocios Infernales there and otherwise. Otherwise, you will see them back here, see him specifically, I should say, back here in a couple weeks after Thanksgiving for something which I cannot talk more about yet. But jumping back up, as I usually do, Kat, also lovely work from Petra, who I think, one of the nice things about this was, for me, watching it, was that, Petra, of course, has her own relationship, which is still not fully, we haven't explained all of it yet, but still has a relationship with computers and so forth. But I felt like there was you had some very nice things to, you picked up on it, as the character picked up on it quite well when you entered this sort of weirdness of this world. And of course, all of you have been in this weird world one other time when you were talking to him in the shopping mall. And you're speaking to the Long Winters, plural, about things in a way that was not patronizing to them, but that was in some ways kind of communicating to the child place that they had adopted for the use of this metaphor, was really powerful, I think, in its own way. Even if Kaz was doing a lot of the lion's work of it early on, you, and then later on Sleepwell and Aramis, we'll talk to when I get to Aramis, did some really lovely stuff there that was also important. And I really wanted it to be an ensemble group of people dealing with this subject, since you've all been affected by it. And that was lovely to see. I was thinking a little bit about Petra's relationship with other people that have frustrated the hell out of her, in this world, and how there are moments where it's nice for Petra not to have to swing hammers or, to get people in line, but just to do it in a much different way. So that was lovely to see. How did you feel about today? Where will the fun folks see next?
No, I think it's nice for Petra to have a situation where no hammers need to be swung, because I don't think she particularly enjoys doing it that much. So yeah, this was a lot of fun. It was really nice. It was sweet. There was a real sweetness to the role play this time that I really enjoyed. And it's Esper Genesis, so things, roller coasters, children, virtual space. God knows what will happen in any given.
God knows what sci-fi role playing. That's got to be the new take. Yeah.
I'm sticking 2 links in the chat. The first is next week because of the book. I have 5 different events coming up. So there's a page that has all of them on it. And then if you did not like Lone Wolf 67 win and are now like, oh my God, how do I get a copy of this? there is a link with a whole bunch of information about that. And so this is me going, buy my book, but I really do want you to buy it because I'm super stoked about
Yeah,
it.
it
And
sounds
like
amazing.
Esper Genesis will like this book, I
Yeah.
promise.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, absolutely. And the official I know you've mentioned it before. The official release day is when?
The amazing floating
That's what-
release
yeah.
date that has multiple times. It is the 16th,
Which is the day-
November 16th,
And that's the day after your birthday or before your birthday?
days after my birthday.
Okay. All right.
So I'm going to send out a birthday letter. So if you're one of my friends, know the birthday letter's coming. It's also going to say, buy my book. Buy my book.
Which absolutely should 100% happen. And happy birthday in
Happy
advance.
buy my book, please.
Happy buy this book, please. Oh man. Good stuff. We will absolutely do that. And thank you, Kat. And again, thank you as well for the giveaway today, and for being generous enough to do that. And Lone Wolf, I have actually sent this to you in Discord, so you now have the information that was sent to me. And thank you again, Kat, very much for both good role play and for wonderful writing. And I look forward to reading You Sexy Thing, which I will of course be buying myself. Also, and in fact, as I realize, I will immediately, before I do anything else, put note pre-order. I was going to do this anyway, but I'm just like, book tonight so I don't forget. Okay, there we go. But yes, I look forward to it, and thank you, Kat, as always. Last, Johnny, again, Aramis, I think, was interesting to me. I first of all, it was fun to watch you play both you and Sleepwell, and I think you did a credible job of being able to communicate some of the way that Sleepwell would have acted without being overboard about it, obviously. But that was fun to watch. And as far as the stuff that was going on, sort of inside and outside, I was cracking up at there was two comic relief moments, Petra with Rona a couple times, and then Aramis with the thing about, okay, just be ready to either blow us up, pick us up, it was literally like, destroy the universe, don't destroy the universe. I was just like, what are these like binary states? Be ready to go 1, 0, or 0 or 1. And I was just this really, really funny. And then when you actually got into, within this world, again, very lovely role-playing moments that I think everybody picked up on the vibe there and really kind of went with it. And I felt like you did the exact same thing in a way that was I think everyone understood what was at stake there for both of the Long Winters, and that there was something that everybody kind of identified with, despite the sort of sadism, right, of the Long Winter. It's manufactured, right? It was made to be what it was, and then it was split violently. And so this is the reaction, right? And I think everybody picked up on that, maybe because all of you in this campaign have had to deal with your own traumas, and God knows Aramis has had plenty of those to work with. So that was really lovely to watch, and so I really enjoyed that, Johnny. As always, it was good work with Aramis. How did you feel about today's session? Where will the folks find you next?
So first off, I want to say thank you, Greg, for the way that all came together. That was quite masterful, and it seemed a little bit unexpected that we actually came to that conclusion so quickly in this particular framing. But yeah, it worked incredibly well. That was fantastic storytelling on your part. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And then I got to say thank you to Zach for once getting in there, sort of laying the groundwork for all of that sort of like tone and handling it in the way you did. It was. I was getting vibes of you, being the dungeon master to 8, 9, 10, 12-year-olds.
That's exactly what it was.
Age group, exactly.
In fact,
100%.
I was having to hold back a little bit because I was like, Kaz has not spent 10 years teaching 10-year-olds.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Can I introduce you to the
definitely where
marimba?
it was,
wait a minute.
It's definitely where it was coming from, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the both of you kind of set it up, and then Kat and I just got a chance to play in that playground of that, and be a part of that story. The two of you,
yeah,
it's hard to see. It's hard sometimes when you're at the table on either side of the screen, and just have that come together seamlessly. But it felt very, very seamless. So that was a really fantastic job on both your parts. So yeah, thank you. And yeah, so. The only regret that I have, actually, I have two regrets in this situation about the way this all went down. First regret is that Carlos wasn't here.
Yeah, I know.
I'm dying because I know that that would have been another element of this that would have, added, his flourish to it and everything, and that would have been a real poignant part of the story. But the other thing I would say is, I've got regrets that we don't get more time to explore these two sides of that personality that we were just dealing with. Like, I'm hoping that there's, as Zach was saying something earlier, that at some point beyond, they come back and deliver that pizza or whatever, right? They come back and we have that conversation with whatever the integrated winter is, or the two sides of the winter or whatever, and get a sense of what that did for them, or what where they went from there.
Right.
Where the roller coaster went.
Right.
Exactly.
Could be.
So, it was fantastic. It was, I had a great time today. That's it for me. Next time you're probably going to see me, the only scheduled thing I've got going on right now will be in 2 weeks. I'll be back here for Esper Genesis. Here being, sort of ethereal, flimsy sort of a term. I'll be somewhere on the East Coast. It's not quite clear yet where that's going to happen, so we'll sort that out as you get closer. But also today, I actually just after a really long hiatus, Bystanders is back on track. I will be talking a little bit more about that in the coming weeks and months.
Nice.
And check Twitter. There'll be more updates going out that way as well. And if you're a backer, check your email. There is a new update for you. So other than that, I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.
Good stuff. Thank you, Johnny. And yeah, I will give one other very quick pop to thank you for everyone for the kind words. And it's easy to do that when you have wonderful players. So, but I have to say just one other thing about this quickly, and I'm bringing this up because it may be helpful to people in chat as well, that one of the things that I had to be careful with the whole long winter stuff was there's serious problematic elements to putting something, an AI, an artificial presence, a psychic possession, whatever, into anybody else in a playing context and doing so theoretically without permission. And I kind of had to be really careful about that with several characters in this campaign, about not stepping that too far. And also, I sort of leaned in a little bit to, because Zach and I talked about it, and I leaned in a little bit to the idea that there was something that the long winter needed to acknowledge about, being present in someone without their permission. And so I wanted to thank Zach, because that conversation, which we had a long time ago, made it possible to sort of think about ways to address this. I always knew I was going to address it at the moment when that part of things was ended. So I wanted to thank Zach for doing that, and this is why player communication with game masters is so important, because it makes it not only safe for everybody, but also allows for great role-playing moments if the game master is hopefully listening and paying attention. So anyway, thanks, Zach. And thank you to all of the players for being awesome today. It was an honor, as always. We are going to see these folks back in a couple of weeks. Mostly all virtually, but will any of them be more than that? We'll see. You will find out. But in the meantime, it was a great pleasure. Chat, can we get some love for the amazing crew of Esper Genesis? Carlos Hernandez, who will be joining us again soon in a couple of weeks. Of course, Johnny Pittman. Of course, Kat Rambo. And of course, Zach Clay. And again, good luck, congratulations on all the book stuff, Kat. And Johnny, safe travels at some point. And Zach, again, great work. And I will be speaking to you shortly. Thank you, everybody. Good work from all. Bye for now. Okay. Whew. Yeah, I was conscious of the fact that you got to be careful. That's, again, not something you can do unless you really trust the players to be able to pick it up. And actually, the fact that we've been playing together as long as we had really makes that more viable, makes it more possible. So that was really lovely. And this is, again, to be a part of that. And this is, again, the reason why this is so important. paying any attention to this and you don't feel a little bit of healing on multiple levels that I won't get into right now, but I mean, and they're specific also to everyone who's watching individually. You know, like, this is not just get a bunch of people together and run around and kill a bunch of things. Like, and that can be fun in its own way, you know, but there's more than that going on. And, you know, the richness of the game system and the richness of the player environment and their engagement and their buy-in is what makes that possible. So that was lovely. I really enjoyed that. So, and it was because of all these wonderful people that we were a part of it. So thank you again to the amazing players. And chat, thank you to you, because chat was really invested in, I think, in a really lovely way. And this is one of the reasons why I want to be able to, of course, Arudinel, of course. Yes, of course. And that's what I mean. Like, the lovable, there are moments that are going to hit people harder, less hard, are going to feel stronger or less strong, that you can relate to. Sometimes you can sympathize, sometimes you can empathize. It depends. But that's kind of how I usually feel whenever I'm a player in a Tales from the Loop game. I always end up like tearing up and feeling super emotional because something about that game is just hitting me in the feels all the time. And in this case, it was just lovely to watch this kind of stuff develop. So it was great. I really, really enjoyed that a lot, and I'm so grateful to the players that they were able to make it as wonderful as they did. So thank you, chat, for being awesome and a big part of this. Tomorrow, you are going to, or later today now, actually, technically on the East Coast, you are going to be seeing more of D&D with I&B as the Eberron campaign returns. That campaign is starting to get off the hook. They are trapped in a place, and they have this weird machine that's printing out all these instructions on how to survive whatever they're in the middle of, and they don't even know how it's doing this and everything, and it's going to be crazy, go nuts, and it's going to be a lot to resolve, and it's going to be fun, and you will not want to miss it. It will be the conclusion of the second part of Oracle of War called Voice in the Machine, so you will definitely want to be here for that. That's going to be starting tomorrow or later on Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and then we are going to be off on Sunday, I believe, but let me just double check quickly. I think we are off on Sunday. I know we're on Monday, but let me just double check quickly before I speak out of turn. No, I take that back. See, this is why I need to check these things. Right. See, that's why I wanted to check. Blades in the Dark is happening on Sunday. Blades in the Dark is happening with the Speculate crew. So Brandon O'Brien and your amazing strange friend Speculate crew, which have a lot of powerful moments, like similar to the ones that you just saw. That is going to be coming up 7 p.m. on Sunday. So you will not want to miss that. I'm glad I checked that. Then on Monday, we have the premiere of a new event we're going to be hosting here once a month on the channel, which is Bag of Giving. It is a charitable event, and it is going to be Fall of Magic with Dave Ring as GM, and it's going to be benefiting Collective Action for Safe Spaces. This is one of several charities that Brandon Crilly and Mike Underwood, who are the co-founders of Bag of Giving, that they have highlighted as some of the places that they're going to be supporting. And so I am honored to be able to host that as well, and that is going to be happening Monday at 6:30 p.m. Brandon O'Brien's going to be running production for that. I will be driving home, listening, rapt attention with all the rest of you from my class, because I'm going to be done at 6:25, and I'm going to be off campus probably by 6:45 somewhere in there, and I will be listening with excitement to the Bag of Giving premiere, and that'll be happening again Monday the 15th. Then on Tuesday, Tuesday's a little bit up in the air because we had Adventures in Middle-earth Erebor Adventure scheduled, but as you may have heard early on, because of what happened with Brad, I don't know what we're doing with that yet. I don't know if we're putting that on hold. I know that Brad was supposed to be coming home from the hospital probably today, possibly tomorrow, so I don't know whether or not he's going to feel up to it in a few days. It might be in 3 days that he'd be okay and ready to go and might want something to take his mind off stuff. I know that when I got out of the hospital, I'd wanted nothing more than to forget having been there, so it's quite possible that he may want something like that, but it's totally based on how he's feeling, and I don't want to speak for him at all, and I don't know if I want to run at least that first session without him. If he can't make either one, then we would probably run session this month without him, but if that's not the case, then I'd like to, in all likelihood, have a session, at least one session with him in it. So we'll see. I don't know whether we're going to do that. If not, we'll play more Metroid Dread is what we would do instead. Then Tuesday afternoon, we'll have more Celasta Crown of the Magister over on GOG.com and episode 302 of Pen and Pixels. And then that night at 9 p.m. Eastern, we will have the Arvocalists making their return. And I am excited for that. I don't yet know what game that's going to be. I'm going to figure that out probably sometime on Monday, either Sunday or Monday. There's a couple of possibilities. I haven't decided which game. But the last game we had was really awesome, and I'm hoping we can do something just like so. That's going to be good. Yeah, exactly, Rudnell. I feel the same way. Again, I've been monitoring his Twitter, and I've had a couple of text exchanges with him, so I think he's doing okay. But it was scary stuff, and obviously was it's not a wake up call that anybody wants, but it was certainly a hell of a wake up call, and so yeah, he. So anyway, any support you can give him by going over and picking up his stuff and by buying his books would be, I know, very well appreciated. So definitely consider doing that. And you'll get the advantage of getting to read awesome work, because all I have on this channel are amazing authors, from Carlos to Kat to Amal to Brad to Mike to Brandon to all these people that I could go on for ages. So you could get that stuff if you wish. But in any case, that's what's going on with Brad. Then we're off Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday next weekend is going to be a Metroid weekend. Metroid Prime on Friday the 19th, and then Metroid Dread on Saturday the 20th. Yep. I actually blurbed, I think, the Sharakai, and that was because his work is very good. Brad's a pro. He really is. He puts a lot of research into it, and he's a good guy because he loves Tolkien, so obviously. But no, he's also a good player, and he's a good friend, and so that was like, ooh, it was really scary to hear about that. So I hope everything is okay. So, well, no, I mean, I was talking about, like, I know, Triffid. No, I have many people, amazing voice actors, I have talent of all sorts of types, amazing musicians, and of course, amazing artists. No, I got amazing people up and down. I got amazing podcasters. I don't know if you know what we're talking about. Amazing podcasters. You know what I mean there, Triffid? I've got amazing people in all those cases. I got amazing mods like Dragon Spear and Triffid and Arudinel and Rock God and Shadowed Mage and all the crew. I'm just talking about the ones that I've just seen today. So they're all amazing. But yes. So yeah. It was great tonight, and it's going to be great tomorrow. And so we've got a great stuff coming up over the next week or so. So it's going to be good times, and you will not want to miss it. But that is going to... Oh, also this Tuesday, I should mention, is nominations for the Chat Chosen Game of the Month are going to be coming up as well. So there's definitely that's going to be happening. But that is going to do it for me for tonight. And because we're not ending that late, which is nice, I'm going to double check and see... let me mention to everybody, by the way, that the Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks, which is the new Kickstarter that is being run by Alligator Alley Entertainment, I am not referring to only Prince Justin Triffid, as you know all too well. I'm referring to you specifically, in addition to Prince Justin and many other wonderful podcasters here. But this thing right here, Expedition for the Mysterious Peaks, this freaking campaign is kicking butt, people. $23,005 right now. They hit goal over 24 hours ago. It only took them like 2.5 days to reach goal. They are already funded. They have 320 backers, and I am 100% excited for them for this. Number one, because I think it's amazing. Number two, because there may or may not be some interest that I have in being involved with something involving this and streaming later, perhaps, he said archly. And number three, because to be quite frank, it would be very nice for them to do well, since they are also heavily involved in my Gray Shade Kickstarter upcoming, so I'm excited for selfish reasons. And number four, and yes, you did actually, Arudinel, but I don't remember what it was. Was it this? How about I spell that right? No. Was it? Damn it. I don't remember what the command is. I feel like you did. Arudinel. I don't remember what the hell it is now, and I'm sorry. We'll track it down. In any case, that link that I put you to is what will allow you to get over there. So I'm excited about that for those reasons. And like I said, admittedly, it would be great for them to do well because that also helps us. They are, of course, the sponsor of Esper Genesis, and I'm involved with them with the Gray Shade stuff. And obviously it helps Tales and Tomes, the Forbidden Library. By the way, did you know that Forbidden Library from my Tales and Tomes, the Forbidden Library, is on the same planet in which that thing was set? So the Expedition for the Mysterious Peaks world is the same world on which my Mysterious Library, although of course the Forbidden Library can be set on any world that you like, but the sort of canon world is set on the world where Mysterious Peaks is, which I think is really cool. So I'm excited about that. Oh, yeah. No, there's two. There was another one. Yeah. There's the other one, which is this other Kickstarter. So there's that. And the last reason, of course, that I'm excited for them, and maybe the most important, is that they're a good group of guys. It's a good company. And this is the first project they've done since Brian Dalrymple sadly passed away. And you all know how much that really... Brian was a really good guy, and I know it hurt me. It hurt a lot of his friends in the industry, and it certainly obviously devastated them. And for that company to come back and have this kind of a showing is really great. We need companies like this, a vibrant, dynamic community of good companies and good creators putting together good products. It's really important. And so anytime something like this does well, I'm really excited for it. So $23,155 with 321 backers, and you've still got 26 days to go is awesome. So I'm just hoping that they can keep it up and that they keep moving because it's really great to see. They actually have their first stretch goal is at 30,000, and that's going to be a bestiary expansion. So 15 new threats and more NPC organizations. And as you might, so there's that. I know a lot of this is already put together and written. A lot of it is. So a lot of it is putting together, the art and doing a bunch of that stuff and layout. So that's, their release time is for June, but they've already written a lot of it. And Rich is a great writer. Rich is a great adventure writer. He really is. He's a DM's Guild adept. And I could tell you from having played through a lot of the stuff that he wrote and having looked at the masterpiece that is Esper Genesis, that he really knows what he's doing. And man, it's super good. Thank you, Rudnell. That's awesome. Thank you. That's perfect. So, I don't want to just always be just shilling for everybody's stuff. But it's all good material and all good work that I'm hoping that everybody will enjoy looking at. So it's really cool. And then there's new character options, which is the stretch goal above 30K. There's a guest author in a new realm. I don't know what that is, and then more to come. And they've got some big people involved in this, by the way, folks. Some of them are people that actually contributed to my Tales and Tomes. So we've got people like, for example, Ginny Loveday contributed to mine. I believe Greg Marks did as well. We've also got people writing for it, some from the company, Christopher Negelin, Eric Weiner, but also those are both from Alligator Alley. But it's got big-time people, Jameson Stone, Satine Phoenix. These are some big-time people from the industry as well, in addition to the people I've mentioned. So it's a really good group of writers and designers that are going to be part of this. And so I'm excited for them. I'm excited that it's doing well. And it's good for everybody involved that is connected with them, and that includes us. So I'm very happy for them, and that's good. So hopefully that will continue. As I said, it was great to have everyone here today. Let's see what we've got. Who we've got for stuff. Might be able to swing over there. Let me see. Yes, perfect. Okay, so I know who we are going to raid today. Just before we get to that raid, I do want to remind everyone about ways to support us here on the channel. If you haven't done so, please follow the channel. Check out our YouTube, !ArvTube. Thank you for all those who have subscribed. We've had a lot of new subscriptions over there. We're trying to push the subscriptions over there. It's free for you to do that, but we're trying to push the subscriptions because if we can get to 1,000 subscribers, we're almost at 800 right now. If we can get to 1,000 subscribers, we can monetize the channel, and more importantly, it gives us a lot more flexibility in terms of what we can do with YouTube, and that will will help grow both YouTube and us. So jumping over there would be great and allows you to see past broadcasts of this campaign and other campaigns, of course, on the channel. !ArvCourt is our Discord channel. Love to have people join us over there. We have over 230 members now on the Discord channel, and it's a great place to hang out, post stuff. I found out today on the animation channel that there's a whole new X-Men cartoon coming out, which is starting from the old X-Men. Now, I've never been a huge X-Men fan, but I did remember the cartoon a little bit, and I was like, oh, that was just something I discovered on the animation channel on our Discord channel, so it's worth checking out. You should definitely go over there and become a part of that. Again, that is also free. And of course, !Arv Tweets is my Twitter. Following me over there allows you to find out when new things are happening, either stuff about gaming or writing or teaching or streaming or music, playing music of various kinds, podcasting and so forth. And of course, also gaming and game mastering and family and even a little bit of politics there thrown in as well. So all of that is really, really exciting. The Japanese anime X-Men series is cooler. Could very well be. But I just thought, I know people were excited that the return, that it was coming back. And I was like, oh, that's cool. So anyway, that's the deal with that. So yes, and again, the website for that is arvaneleron.com. On the financial side, !Arv Shop, that's the merchandise area where you can get stuff for Infinity and Beyond, Adventures in Middle-earth, and soon to be Esper Genesis stuff there as well. !Arv Treon is that Patreon right there. 23 patrons, $2.20 per month. Really does make a difference. It's kind of the financial backbone of the channel and makes it possible for me to have, I still pinch myself that I get to be, first of all, this office is so cool, but I get to have this beautiful camera and this amazing lighting and the lighting back here, and I get all of that because of so much of it, because of the support of what you folks have been able to do. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. It really has been awesome, and it has helped support my writing as well, and that obviously is very important to me. So thank you for all of that. So again, you can also get some cool stuff for yourself if you support the Patreon, which you can also get if you support us by subscribing to the channel. And a number of you today not only subscribed but also resubbed and gave gift subs to people. I know Arudinel did. I know that Triffid did. So thank you to everybody who gifted subs, who resubbed and everything. It was really nice of you to do that. Really generous, and you are wonderful people, as I've often said. And you can get, again, inspirations to help our players, which we didn't actually need today, but I have a feeling tomorrow there's going to be some inspirations needed. I'm just guessing that's going to be the case. So yes. And then, of course, on the publishing side, Icarus for my Icarus graphic novel from the amazing Athos Arts. Good luck, Garlic Tofu, with the con that you're at right now. I imagine Garlic's gone to bed by now, but good luck to Garlic Tofu. And yes, more details to come on new stuff with Icarus coming down the pike. And of course, the Gray Shade Kickstarter, Athos is also putting out the novels for those. Gray Shade KS for more details about that. And I will have more information about that sooner rather than later. Things are really beginning to pick up the pace there, which is great. And last but certainly not least, of course, we have got Library, Tales and Tomes, The Forbidden Library, which is my 5e adventure and sourcebook, again, from Alligator Alley Entertainment, set in the world of Expedition to the Mysterious Peaks, or Expedition from the Mysterious Peaks. So very, very exciting stuff. And yeah, so definitely consider supporting that. It is going to be available in print to the general public pretty soon, maybe a month out, I think, something like that now. I don't want to get ahead of my skis, out in front of my skis, but I think something like that. But it is also available at your friendly local game store and has been available in digital through DriveThruRPG. So all of that stuff is great. It's a silver seller over there. And yeah, would love to see more people pick that up and become members of the library, so to speak. And last, as always, BLM, Black Lives Matter. Very important to affirm and assert the significance and importance of Black lives, as I always say. And Help Now, which is the World Health Organization page on suicide prevention. Very important to reach out to others when they need help and to reach out to others when you need help as well. I hope that there were certain moments that made you feel a little bit tonight as we were going through it, that there was a connection, because we need connection and community with each other. And that's one of the things that I strive for. And it's lovely to see it when it happens in the context of a game that we all get to watch as well. So thank you to everybody. And we are going to do a raid today, just before I say goodbye, everyone. Raids are real simple. If you are not a sub, you're going to do this. The Arvanauts have landed, followed by Twitch raid, lowercase Twitch, uppercase R, lowercase AID. If you are a sub, you're going to do this. The Arvanauts have landed, followed by Twitch raid, lowercase Twitch, uppercase R, lowercase AID. And then you've got Arvany Roar, Arvany Smug, Arvany Hype, Arvany Woe, Arvany What, Arvany Love. You got all the Arvanys. All of that you can bring over when you are automagically brought to the channel to which we're going to be doing the raid. Thank you to my wonderful viewers tonight. Thank you to my wonderful mods, Rudinell, Dragonspear, Rock God, and Triffity Mats, best in the business. Thank you to my wonderful subscribers, Rudinell, Dragonspear, Rock God, Triffity Mats, Echo Alpha X5, Cat Rambo, Commander Dunsel, Lone Wolf, Mrs. Dunsel, Prince Justin, and Zach Clay. And thanks to everybody who gifted subs today, as I said before. Thank you to my Patreon supporters in that group as well. Thank you to CinderXP, to Galadriel Bot, who's totally not a bot. Thank you to Gigafrost. Thank you to Pacer. Thank you to Soul Wolf. Thank you to Spike Trap. Thank you to Tineriff. Thank you to V&K. And thank you to Wolf Shear and Vile, I believe, too. Thank you to everybody for being an awesome part of this stream, and a special thanks to our sponsors, Alligator Rally Entertainment, for this campaign, and special thanks to our players, to Cat Rambo, to Johnny Pittman, and to Zach Clay, who really brought it tonight. Thank you so much to all of them, and to all of you for being lovely people. I will see you folks back here right around 7 p.m. Eastern for D&D with I and B, and more Eberron, Oracle of War, Voice in the Machine. Otherwise, stick around for the raid, and I will see you lovely folks very soon. Until then, everyone, be good to each other. Have a good night.
When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I grew older, I set aside childish ways. Corinthians 13:11. In the distant future, mankind has spread into the stars and found it is not alone. Within the cluster of planets known as the Silrain Heart, many races strive for survival or supremacy. But throughout this array of planets, societies, and cultures, each has one thing in common: the Crucibles. Scattered throughout the galaxy, each moon-sized structure contains a core of raw soaring, a form of mysterious energy used to power ships, cities, and sometimes the warping of the fabric of reality itself. Beings who can do this have been given a name: Espers. The power of God has been granted to God's children. It is a time of terror. It is a time of wonder. It is the time of Esper Genesis.